Hello, welcome to Spurs Kings TV. Host Marlon, and it's the boy Ashmatic analysis on Tuesday. Ash, you well?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed, man. Big up to everyone in the chat as always. Big up to yourself, Marlon, and to the rest of the Spurs community on the watch back. Please make sure you are liking, you're sharing, and subscribing to our channel, man. International break. Been away for a minute, bro. We've had like a little break. A lot to unpack, bro.
A lot to unpack. It's all about the home, the treasures of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because that seems to be where we've been at for the last week, and everyone's a bit like, ugh, it's who we are, mate. It's still lurking around.
Oh, it's getting a little bit toxic. I can't lie, man. I'm hearing boos, people getting agitated, questioning the brand of football. Can we blame them? Can we blame them?
Yeah, I can. They put up with Levy for this long, for 25 years. Why the hell they booing now? I'm joking. But there's so many reasons behind it. But yeah, let's bring out the guests tonight. First of all, SNN.
We missing these glasses right here. So I'm missing the hat, but in theory, but I appreciate you guys having me. Yeah, man. Hey, it's been a while, but I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm the only guest because everyone's running and hiding now. It's international break. No one wants to talk about Spurs, man. So
everyone's hiding at home like Spurs are at the moment. But yeah, and let's bring out Oren. You well?
I'm always well.
I like Oren.
Everyone good?
Yeah, good, all good, man.
Yeah, all good.
So let's get straight into it. Let's get the home of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Not a shot on target against Chelsea, because we ain't been on since Chelsea. Then the dream of Copenhagen, 4-0. It should have been 5, but Richie had other ideas.
Richie was Richie.
And then Manchester United, I think we had one shot on goal in the first half. Can't even remember what the actual stats were, and then we decided to score 2 and then conceded in the last minute. Ash, why is it so bad at home?
Jeez, I was hoping like you'd skip past that Chelsea thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, I ain't skipping past. No, because Chelsea's still there.
I was getting ready. Like I didn't even watch the game properly until like I watched it back. But listen, the home form for me is typically off the back of the previous regime. We've got some of those players that are still playing there, so I think not too much has changed in that particular area, especially that central midfield area. They're the ones that kind of make things tick over, and I don't think we've seen too much improvement in terms of like being on the ball. Then you look at the front line, and like for like, obviously we lost Kudus. You've heard it before, Madison, blah blah blah. Son's gone, blah, blah. I could go on forever, innit? And we've replaced it with Kudus, basically. You know what I mean? And we're very predictable especially when we're meant to be the team that's meant to control games. We just play down one side, and teams just know, like, just give it to the left-hand side. Because more time at home, we've had Jed Spence playing as the left back. And that's been an issue because we don't have that much width. And on top of it, we don't have that much verticality, meaning that I think Frank wants to play sometimes long and direct, and he wants to play players. He wants players to run in behind. He hasn't actually got that option in his front line at the moment, apart from maybe Brennan Johnson, and we all know what we think of him. So when you look at the players that he wants and the style he wants to play, there's loads of things that aren't marrying up. And then the last thing I'll say is we're not really a possession-based team, even though the stats will tell you different. It says that we're like 50 to 55% to 60% in games. But when we're trying to be the protagonist, when we're trying to be the main guy against the lower block teams, the lower teams, I feel like this team hasn't got an idea. They haven't got a clue. And that's why when it comes to identity, there's not much of an identity at the moment. And the final thing I'd say is the last bit. With Thomas Frank, it's like because he hasn't got the 1 game a week which Ange had at the start. He's doing 2 games a week, so it's almost like he's trying to build the plane, fix it, whilst trying to fly over many countries. You know what I'm saying? So he hasn't got time to implement, and he's got to fix along the way. Fix whilst playing games. You know, he hasn't had the chance to sit down with the team and kind of get his ideas across. Apart from the preseason, that was the only time I feel he got his ideas across.
I see you're doing so much alongs. So come on, hit me with the home form. What's your predicament on it? We couldn't have asked for 3 different contrasting games in the past week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not looking pretty. Why?
It's not. I just think it's the performances. I've seen a lot of takes out there. Like, I could never, because I've actually seen this take floating around that people are blaming like the fans and like the atmosphere of the crowd, and it's like I don't want to do that because, like, in my opinion, the atmosphere of the crowd is reflective of how the game is going. Like, I don't think the fans weren't booing at Chelsea because the atmosphere is just terrible. It's because we were playing terribly and we were losing, so they booed. Similar to when we went 2-1 up, the fans were in jubilation because we were 1-0 down, seemed like out of the game, and we turned it around and it looked like we had won the game. So the fans were.
And Richie scored.
He stole Odegaard's goal. He stole Odegaard's goal, bro. It just hit the back of his head, man. I don't even want to count that.
You don't think he kind of redirected?
You know what it is? I've been trying to do the PR thing for Odegaard. So like I have to go down this route in it. Like I've done it for too long. So Richarlison stole his goal. That's what I'm going with.
Celebrated.
I know his celebration was shameless. It bounced off your head, bro. Like you didn't do anything. It just bounced off his head. Man took his shirt off and was sliding. He was damn near crying on the pitch. He was crying like that's the goal that's gonna get him in form. Like he's been desperate for that. Like, bro, he had the chance and you took it off Dane Scarlett, bro. Like you shouldn't be celebrating like that. But I'm not gonna be the guy that blames the fans. I think the fans are reflective of how the team performs and how the team feels, because like you can, like, emotions are a weird thing. Like you can feel how a team, you can feel the emotion of the team as they're playing. Like if they feel reserved and they feel nervous, the effect like radiates off the crowd. I think the crowd is literally just like a mirror that reflects how the players feel. So I know when people say, "Oh, don't boo the players" and all that, you don't think the players feel like they deserve to be booed for the performance? Not to say that how they'll react to it, but I just don't subscribe to the notion that the bad atmosphere of the crowd is why we're losing games at home. The reason why we're losing games at home is because the performances aren't good, and I think the tactics could be improved. That's why it's a mixture of some of the things the managers got wrong, not many, but some things. And in some performances, the players just aren't playing well enough. I think that's just what it comes down to. Because it's not like we play amazing away and then when we go home, we play terribly. It's not really that. I think it's just sometimes we just don't play well enough and it comes back to bite us. That's what it is, really. It's just unfortunate that it's at home.
Do you think he has the players to be playing well enough? Because look, we all got told Frank is this tactical genius from everybody that wanted him at the club. He will change things. He'll see things differently. He'll go with different formations if he has to. But I feel like we haven't seen that so far.
We haven't, to be fair. And look, I understand if people want to say like he can't fix the front line, I have no issue. So, like for example, the Aston Villa loss that was at home, we created more than enough chances to win the game, but the attackers just couldn't score them. That type of stuff you can't blame Thomas Frank for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he definitely has the players to do better, because even though, I understand we finished 17th last year and all of that, but most Tottenham fans would roughly say where we'd finish between 5th and 8th, roughly. And that's despite the fact we finished so low last season. So we all know that the players are good enough for a Europa League kind of finish. So even if you want to say the midfield isn't good, which I don't agree with personally, in my opinion, our defense is very good. We have one of the better defenses in the league, in my opinion. But I would understand if we dominated the game and we couldn't finish our dinner, and then we end up losing because of it. I'd understand that. That's not on Thomas Frank, to be fair. But some of the stuff, just because there are deficiencies in the squad, doesn't excuse the manager from not doing things that is required. You know, like with certain pairings don't work or a player's not working, or like you expect it to change things up and do stuff. And he has tried to do it by trying to eliminate that left wing position. So I give him credit for that. Even if it doesn't work, at least he's trying stuff in that aspect, because there's only so much a manager can try. But there is sometimes where it's like, I'm looking at the manager like, you got to do this, you got to do that, and he's not doing it over a consistent period. And it's like, now I'm looking at you kind of with the side eye, you know? But it's a lot of factors. It's not just the manager or just the players.
Oren is sounding like he is stressed. I keep on doing this, like, you know, you're next to tight. Oh.
He's chilling.
Hey, Oren, man. Oren's like, he's about
to go.
I said,
I'm still wrong.
Where's it all gone wrong, Oren?
Let's talk about Chelsea game, as brutal as it is. That was so bad. It was so bad. Lack of desire, lack of passion, scared of passing. Never got going. And then Copenhagen changed things up. But what's really interesting is that, remember the stream we did before, I said, what if Thomas was playing Polina and Bentancur because Romero wasn't playing? Since Romero's come back, he's only played Polina or Bentancur, and he's played Sarr next to them.
Ooh.
So, like, I'm wondering, and of course, Bergville has been injured. Mm-hmm. So I think if Bergville didn't get an injury against Chelsea, which I think disrupted the whole plan. I think a lot of people forget that Thomas Frank set out with the team. Bergville gets injured. I think that destroyed the whole game plan.
What time was that when he got injured as well?
It was like 7 minutes. 7 minutes in.
I thought it was less than that.
It was like 2-3 minutes.
I think by the time
he came off in like the 5th or 6th minute.
Time he came off, and I think what Thomas Frank realized is that Spurs need engine and players who aren't afraid to pass, which Bergville can do, and he played Sarr at the same time. And I think like if Bergville hadn't got that concussion, he would have played against Copenhagen, and maybe, because I think Frank is going to go, right, we need energy. That's what Tottenham are lacking in that middle. We need that energy. We need a player who can bust forward, make those passes you're not afraid. Against Copenhagen, like, that was brilliant. Van de Ven doing what he did best, not doing what he did best, like just doing what he does. But what was really good about that game was Bentancur I've slated Bentancur, but I have to give him credit as well, because it felt like when he had the full responsibility, not to just pass it sideways to Polina, let you do something, he was more aggressive and he set the tone. And I think with Sarr being there as well, he's that energy of, like, people have been saying, why is he not playing Pepe Sarr?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he has been playing Pepe Sarr. But if you watch Pepe Sarr, he's far more disciplined in the last 2 games than he's ever been before. He's not getting forward as much.
So is that a tactical thing then? Is that on Frank?
I think
not to move forward.
Not so much not to move forward is, you see, the thing is about Sarr, as much as we enjoy watching him play, he does tend to get forward and look like he's running around like a headless chicken. And I think that the coaches and Frank has sat down with them maybe and said, right, be more disciplined, conserve your energy. You can still get forward, but your job is to help out Polina or Bentancur, and don't like waste your energy or be more conservative. And that's what I've seen with Sarr. I mean, Sarr hasn't, no one said anything about him, but that's sometimes a good thing as well, because you're not saying he's good, you're not saying he's bad. He's just keeping his head, level, and he's playing that way. And I think Xavi is going to benefit from that. You saw what he did against Copenhagen, and man, like, when he had to get taken off, I was like, like, player, it was like, what more does this have to happen to him? I think he's going to start learning about players, and I think Frank playing Brendan Johnson as well with Kudus getting injured, I think, is what I'm looking at is that Frank is doing something that previous managers have failed to do, and that's actually rotate the team. We know that there's players who aren't good enough. We know that. But Frank is using what he has. Instead of going, right, maybe Richie's not good enough, right? Odebear's is playing. He's prone to injuries. Let's start Richarlison in the left wing. See what he does.
So do you agree with him rotating
Of
against
course,
Manchester United?
he has to.
Because Copenhagen, obviously, we started with the doggy out wide, and then we had a doggy out wide. Both of those players seem to have made a bit of a difference.
Oh, they did, yeah.
We had a lot more width, and then both. It's like against Man United, we didn't have a single left footer on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And so a lot of people were saying that he actually got the starting lineup wrong. Are you disagreeing with that?
And a little bit, yes, because you have to remember Destiny Udogie has came back, played, got injured, and came back again. So it's about reserving him. Odebear's the same. So again, it's kind of like, why if it shows that Odebear or when Udogie plays, then you'll want them to be playing more, and the games are going to get more, especially in the next month after this international break. It's like lots and lots of games. So I think Frank is going right again. Have to rotate. We'll deal with the issues that we have to deal with, and stay around top 4. I mean, it's not like Spurs are finishing or 8th or stay around top 4. And again, against Man United, it was dull first half. United went a goal up. We all understand that. But then he brought on Odebear and Till. And they did something that a lot of Spurs fans have been screaming out for. Do they have players on the bench who can affect the game? Well, they did. They both affected the game. And so I think it's important that you rotate. And that's what keeps the team fresh. And come in the back end of the season. I think Frank is... Any tactician like Frank, they see the bigger picture. They go, right.
That's fair enough.
I
hear it.
Yeah.
Because I disagree. At first, when I first saw the lineup, I thought against Manchester United, I was like, our biggest problem is playing out from the back. And I think that left-hand side is a huge reason why we don't progress the ball.
So I think the reason why he started with Richarlison on the left side, he looked at the Europa League final, and saw how Man United struggled, especially with Sarr, because he was at the top. And I think the doggy thing, I think that was down to fitness. Okay. He's got that is purely down to fitness, because I think if it came down to it, I think Porro would have been taken out, because Porro's played way too many games and his form's dipped. And you can see that with his match ratings after each game. They've become, where he hasn't taken that rest, they're starting to take a nosedive. So I think with your doggy, it's all about fitness, and he can't play 3 times a week. Get it, completely understand it. I did get why he played Richarlison on the left wing at the weekend. It just didn't work. That was it. It just didn't work, and I think because he had to take a risk with both. It literally was going to be blow up in his face. But the one thing he was able to do this weekend, which he hasn't done in the past, he was able to rectify it quite quickly with his substitutions and bring on Tel, Odebear, and Udogie later to make sure that we end up, nearly got the result. But everyone's going to look at it. We can see the last minute, and everyone's going to look at it slightly differently because the lineup was that wrong. But I think he took the chance with what he saw in the Europa League final. And it doesn't help that Mwani, gets clattered by Maguire in the first half as well. So we're playing with 10 men and not realising that at the same time. And technically 9 if you count Richarlison.
Can I go back to the point that Oren made earlier about Mathys Tel and his positioning, how he's been a lot more disciplined? I want to know about, because this is a big talking point in the community at the moment, and it's about Xavi in terms of when he had the ball and then he had no runners with him. And I'm talking about this particular moment here. And
this pissed me off on stream. Oh my god!
You can see Xavi has the ball, but Sarr is directly behind him, and so is Paulinho. So you guys think?
Can I just add to that, Ash, while you're talking about it?
Go on.
This is where I'm going to sit there and tell everybody, Paulinho and Bentancur are not the problem.
No, this is Sarr. This is Sarr.
No. But this is what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm saying. Okay. Sarr is doing exactly the same thing that everyone has been moaning that Bentancur's been doing.
Correct. Exactly. This is my overarching point. I was like, lots of people are saying, they need to be supporting Xavi. He needs to be making runs. Like a player like Sarr, Oren's already said that Sarr's more of a man that likes to run up and down. He's a box crasher. Sometimes he plays as a 10, But other coaching staff instructed him that he needs to support under and therefore that's why the next phase you see him passing backwards. Do you know what I mean? And then in that home stadium, fans start to groan because
yeah. But do you think in that situation though? Let's say that's Maddison in that situation. Go back to that previous picture. Sorry.
Yeah.
What does Maddison do in that situation? Who does he play that pass to?
Well, technically, he could do that outside of the boot to Richarlison, but
Maddison would play that pass to into Richarlison's feet.
Yeah.
That's where SARS. This is where Xavi's going to be slightly different. And I said this. They are completely two different players. Xavi's going to be a completely different setup to what Maddison is, and that's why Maddison suits this system more than what Xavi will.
So you don't think Maddison might do what Xavi did and recycle?
Nah, I think Maddison's more brave on the ball, and he
a bravery issue then with Xavi. You think
it's a bravery? It is a bravery issue. He's got to look at that situation because he's got three. He's obviously just. It's going to be a tactical thing at the moment because you've got Sarr behind him. So he has to either play it back or he has to trust Richarlison. This is the big. That's the big other problem.
That's why I say it's a tactical issue, though. That's why I say, I've been very vocal about Frank's midfield tactical setup, and that's been my biggest issue with Frank because, in my opinion, the midfield is better than what people will make it out to be because they want to provide Thomas Frank defense.
I'm with you on that.
I've seen people in the chat say they don't rate Sarr and stuff like that. I've been a very big fan of Sarr and what he provides to the team, and I think he's gotten better. Him and Bergvall have both gotten better since last year, in my opinion. And I know obviously our best midfielders are out injured, but with the midfielders that we do have available, I think that again, this is why I say the pivot of Pilling and Bentancur has frustrated me because I had the idea of Sarr because when the season started, we didn't have Xavi Simons. It was Sarr starting in the 10 initially in the press, getting up and down.
Yeah.
So we've seen a very different version of Sarr then than we are now. And I think Sarr has basically been tactically instructed to be like another Bentancur in a way, but he's just not as technically gifted as Bentancur. So there's a limitation on what he can do. And that's really been my main gripe on Frank because the forward line, I'll give him a pass for. The defensive line is, in my opinion, from a talent perspective, we have one of the better ones in the league. So it's really just that midfield area because we get dominated a lot.
Because our best passer in that midfield, when you kind of look at Bergvall, Sarr, Bentancur, and Paulinho, is Bentancur. And we saw that at the weekend because obviously Bentancur was allowed to make the forward passes and allowed to do it and that's why we have to look at it like he's just said. And now looking at where Sarr was placed, it's going to be a tactical issue, more not a personnel issue in that midfield.
So do you guys think? Because I'll show you another clip. There's a counter attack when Xavi's got the ball. Do you guys remember that bit as well?
Is this the one where he
picks the ball up here?
Yeah,
and you can see in the shot. So you've got.
Looks like Richarlison is in back.
Yeah, so Richarlison's playing left mid, kind of in that half space. Then you've got next to Xavi, you've got Moani, who's obviously adjacent opposite him, and then you've got far right, you've got Johnson, but they're really far behind because that's where he's won the ball. So ideally, you'd want Moani obviously a little bit more central, and you'd want Richarlison. Or no, ideally, you would want Johnson just to the right of him.
Yeah.
But because he's won the ball where he's won the ball, these players, they're not in a position to help that counter attack. And the next phase here, you see, he does. I can't remember what midfield that was. If it was Casemiro or what. He comes inside him. Pause if I have to, but goes inside, and then he's traveling right inside the semicircle right there, and he's got no players around him. What do you guys think he should do in this scenario where there's not a lot of players around?
There's not much he can do, really, to be honest. There's nothing he can do. I think he made a valiant effort, to be honest.
I think he did what he could.
Because a lot of people are saying that he needs the runners. There should have been runners around him. And that's the reason why Xavi's not working. He needs players and supporting him. And I looked at that clip and I was agreeing with you guys. I was like, right, if I look back here, there's no one really around him when he's won the ball high up on the pitch.
Because Moani looks like he wants to play left. Yeah. He doesn't want to be up top. Richarlison is probably in the position that he was told to be tactically, and Brennan Johnson should be making he should be making that run he looks like he's just watching Xavi. He's not even thinking about making that run forward because he's not. He's looking at the game.
Yeah.
So Xavi's stuck in that situation. There's nothing he can really do apart from what he did.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Johnson, for me, is a culprit here. I think if you're playing a 4-2-1 being Xavi and then a 3, for obviously you've got Richarlison further back. I think Johnson's got to be, at least one of them has to be higher up the pitch to support him on the counter attack, especially if Frank wants to play with direct wingers or players that can run in behind. You've got Moani, who's that profile, and you've got Johnson, who's that profile. They both players can run in behind. But unfortunately for us, they're slightly behind, and the accuracy breaks down, as you can see in this clip here. He gets surrounded, and then the move almost comes to nothing, but they manage to win the ball back, but then it still comes to nothing in the end when everyone's back. But yeah, it's interesting. I agree with you guys, because a lot of people are saying in like the January window, we need a midfielder that can dictate from deep. But looking at those clips, do you think a midfielder coming in is going to change any of that? Is my question.
Depends. Like, I think that the point is, like with Sarr, playing next to him, I think if that was Bergville, he would have made runs forward. I think that what I would say, and it seems that Bentancur and Sarr, is that if they get told an instruction, they will keep to it. They won't divert from it at all. They won't take a risk. They won't get forward. Sarr has shown that. So if Frank said to Sarr at half-time, right, I want you to play high up, Sarr would do it. He's like a robotic. He doesn't know when to make a decision for himself.
Right.
And I think like with Bergville, he does that. You can see Bergville. He will 1 minute he'll be next to the guy. He'll make runs forward. He's free to do that. Maddison as well kind of does that. Kuleveski does it as well. So I think with Xavi, what I'm seeing more and more of is that his footballing IQ is a lot better than the players around him. He's already thinking of what he wants to do. He's more about like quick flicks. He can make that pass in and whatever. So it's up to the players to go, right, as soon as he get the ball, we're going to make runs. We're going to try and do something. But some players at Spurs just ball watch. They'll just wait. They don't run into space. It's like, if I stand here, I'll get the ball. Where if you look at the great players, I'm not comparing exactly to these players, but, I was talking today with a friend, Kevin De Bruyne, brilliant pass of the ball, great assist, but his assist would be so bad if he didn't have runners. Because when Kevin De Bruyne gets the ball, you make that run and he'll find you and you work for him. So I think with Xavi, Colin Moani does it. He's getting fitter and obviously he's got that injury. But I think it's the likes of Brendan Johnson, instead of going, right, I'm just going to do as I'm told and run this way. It's run, go for that space. Because Xavi will find him. He started against Copenhagen.
That's what he did on that point. He did do that against Copenhagen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Johnson was doing.
All right, just a quick question on Kulusevski, because you did mention him. Do you think Frank would play both? Or would it be a choice that he's got to make where he either plays Xavi or Kulu in the 10?
In the 10? Nah, he's not playing both.
Huh?
He's not playing both. No
way.
So who's he going for? Like, if Frank has his way,
well, Kulu's out of Kulu, Maddison, and Xavi. I'm assuming Kulu will be the best out of the three, so I'm assuming he'll play him.
I reckon he'll play Kulu in the 10 and Xavi will go left.
Because Maddison off an ACL, obviously I don't know how Maddison's going to turn out, but
yeah, I'm not
going to be cooked
Maddison at all. I thought about because I feel like Kulu out of everyone would be the closest to come back.
Yeah,
and say January happened and everyone's screaming for a left winger.
I think this season
it depends on your doggy though. It does depend on your doggy because if your doggy can stay fit, he can then play Kulu and Xavi can play on the left. We're not crying out for Odegaard because I know a lot of people are saying Odegaard played well and he played well at the weekend. Don't get me wrong, but in every game before that when he's come on and done something, he's not been great. He's only got, I think his career statistics on assists is not great either. He's had one good game. I'm not going to sit there and
I don't think he's had one good game. I think he's had
wait, are we judging other
I think he's had He's had a bad game since.
No.
Here's the thing.
He's not been great. His final balls have been terrible. It's just that we're crying out so much for a left winger that we're just seeing anything will be good. But that's my biggest issue. You don't like with Odegaard. He came on at the weekend. I was like, okay, he's done all right, but he's not the answer going forward.
I don't think he's the answer, but to say he hasn't had a good game, this is the only good game he's had. I think
that and Monaco. That and Monaco was his best 2 games.
Nah, he was since the Leeds game. He's been good.
But here's the thing.
Since the Leeds game,
I don't think Odegaard is a left winger. I think he's another 10. He's like, if you put Odegaard in the middle, he will thrive in number 10. So Spurs have lots of number 10, but not a left winger, because Odegaard always cuts in. Like I don't know if he crosses with his left foot. Is he even left-footed or is he right-footed?
He's right-footed.
He's right.
So so he's an inside forward. So again, he's not a left winger, and Xavi's not a left winger. But the thing is with Kulusevski, he has a left foot. So could Frank go, right, let's take a risk. We'll stick you out in the left for a while, to get your and just get the ball in.
Has Kudus ever played on the left? Like, had a good game on.
He stunk it up on the left.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask. Has he ever had a good game on this? I know he's played on the left, but has he ever?
I'd be willing to see it though, because it's a new manager and he might be able to find a way to.
I was screaming for Kulu on the left. Why doesn't he play a left footer on the left? And you know what, Kulu, he just naturally drifts to the right. Even when he was stuck out on the left, he started drifting to the right. Stuck him centrally, he still drifts to the right, because of his whole career, since he's been a kid, he's been playing as a right midfielder, not even a right winger, a right midfielder or a 10 where he used to play behind Ronaldo. Do you know what I'm saying? And Ronaldo was like, oh, this kid's amazing. He's setting me up all day. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like in terms of Odegaard, I think we judge a lot of players on, and rightly so, on output. But other people would judge players on their ability to kind of carry into the final thirds, relieve pressure for the team, especially when you're trying to get up the pitch. That helps to change game momentum and change the actual mood of the game. I think Odegaard is okay at that. I think he's decent at that. I think you can put him on a right wing, you can put him on a left wing. And the reason why you're saying he looks like a 10 is because he did play as a 10 for Burnley. And I forgot that I think it's Troyes that he was on loan from his academy club, which was PSG. Him and I think it was Xavi had played together in the academy. That's why they know each other so well. And when Odegaard is in that left-hand side, he's able to drift into the midfield and rotate with a doggy. And they all can play in that kind of pocket.
That's why it works so well.
It works so well because players can't pick them up. And that's what worked for Copenhagen. I know it was a lesser side, but it would have been nice to see if Odegaard was on that side, if that could have translated. But look, it's early because people are going mad for Tel as well. Because I hear what Marlon's saying, because people are looking at Tel now and saying, "Raw."
And then there's Solanke coming back.
I mean, Tel's better than Richarlison. He's better than Richarlison. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what the narrative is. The narrative is he's better. Like people are saying, like as a ball striker, like he hits the ball very cleanly, and that goal he scored was very Defoe-esque, meaning like he had a touch. Swam, he did a little swivel. First thought was to shoot, and Defoe did that. He had very backlift. Didn't have a lot of backlift.
Yeah, the problem with Tel,
whether it's true or not, this is what the narrative is. Like, please forgive me for saying the narrative, but I think what people have started to see, and they said, look, give Tel a run, give him a run of games. He's not a centre forward where he pins his centre back. He's more of a person he's a bit more. Was it instinctive? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Whereas you see like Solanke, he doesn't have the half chance to take a shot. Solanke's more like, I don't know.
He's more selfless with the ball.
1v1, like, or arrive at this particular space. You know those chances that Tel was missing when you fired the ball into him and he's like...
Yeah. I'm one who missed them against Copenhagen, didn't he, as well?
Yeah. So all those type of chances, Solanke, I'm not saying he's clinical and he puts them away, but
it's more likely. Yeah,
it's more likely. Whereas Tel is slightly different in profile. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a more like he needs to feel a play around him, and then he does something and then scores. You know what I mean?
I think he would have been the better option on the left than Richarlison.
Because I know like Tel is.
I think Frank got it wrong in that
because he could have played because he could have played them as because he wanted the two up top. He wanted to pin two man because he said when in the tactical what tactic was that Richarlison was meant to be as a two.
Yeah, they were
covered as a two. And I think Tel would have been more suited to that with Mawani than what Richarlison was.
But don't you think Richarlison's more of an aerial threat than Tel is?
Huh?
Tel's good.
He is. The thing is,
he's an aerial threat.
Aerial what? Can you spell aerial? No.
The thing is, well, I mean, the header that he missed against United when he could have put Spurs 1-0 up, Richarlison just shows like. But we talked about this in the last stream. I do think that you cannot mess with Richarlison. You cannot make him unconfident. You cannot get him huffing because it will just spread. I think he's the kind of player. I mean, look how he celebrated. I mean, he took his shirt off, ran around, and I thought, right, he's just selfish. If Richarlison's upset, he makes sure everyone in the club knows that he's upset. He knows that every player, and I do think that it's trying to keep him happy so he doesn't affect the morality of other players, even though he keeps missing. I mean, what he did against like Copenhagen, taking the ball off Scarlett just to miss it, you're like, you're just an idiot. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do think that Richarlison is showing more and more clearly that he's just not good enough. And Frank is like, look, I've given you my chances. Remember Angie did it? Angie played him for the first 10 games, and he kept believing in him. And then it's like, yeah, okay, you're not. I just think that just a tinfoil hat wearing moment. I just think you have to keep Richarlison happy, because if you don't, he sulks, he huffs, he spreads it around the changing rooms. Like with Conte, didn't he come out after when Conte got sacked and he Conte and all?
Criticized him,
yeah. That type of player is it's eggshell player.
Yeah, 100%, We don't need that. We need players that
exactly.
And also, I think you don't need a confident striker, because if the ball's in the box and he misses, you don't want that to affect his whole game. The player that's in there, do you know what I mean? I'll get another chance. Do you know what I'm saying? Another chance will come. But I want to go back to the point you guys were making about the a ball. Was it someone said about ball playing midfielders or whatever? Or is that what we need? Because at the moment, what we're doing, and I'll just bring up the image if I can. We're doing in possession. We're doing this. So you're seeing Porro as the right-sided centre-back, and then you're seeing Van der Ven as the left-sided centre-back, and Romero is the middle. He's the central centre-back. He's the number one. So everyone's screaming for a back three. This is the formation at the moment. It's like it's a 3-3 here, but normally sometimes when you see Spence push higher up, it'll be a 3-2-5. But at the moment, it's a 3-3-4. What Romero does, and people don't like this, he waits on the ball and he waits for the opposition to kind of move until that passing lane opens up. So you've got Sarr, the deepest of the double pivot, and then you've got Paulinho. Paulinho's occupying is that
Bruno?
No, yeah, he's occupying Bruno. So at that point, Romero gets his head up and he's saying, I don't want to play it into this whole block because it's a 5-4 and a 1. I know you can't see the 5 defenders, but it's the 5-4-1. So that central area is really congested. So what Romero does is he tries to punch it through the lines on the floor, but with pace. So it cuts out those 4 players. And then it eventually lands to one of our players, which is Moani, who happens to be on the right-hand side, coming against, who's that? Not Luke Shaw. Maguire, yeah, against Maguire there. So I think if we, going back to the first slide, if we had a deep line playmaker, would they take Romero's position or would they take Porro's position?
Porro's position, definitely Porro. Because Porro's only back there in this game because of the long ball threat. Because obviously Romero can play him, but if you look at our midfield three, none of them play like long balls in terms of breaking the lines. That's what Porro does. So it's easier for Porro to set up a long ball over the top if he's in that centre back role, which is why Jed Spence is out there. Because Spence is not as good on the left wing as Porro is on the right. But because Jed Spence isn't, he doesn't have the passing range of Porro, it's better for him to be out on the wing where it's easier for him to get trapped when he's by the touchline. With Porro, you can see the amount of space he has. He can hold on to the ball because Richarlison's on the left, remember. So if Richarlison makes that darting run, which I think maybe happened once or twice, but the balls were terrible, Porro can just play that diagonal ball over the top.
So do you think a big reason why we're not like controlling games is because the delivery from Porro at times, because Romero's been in and out the sides, but do you think the delivery of Porro at times has been letting us down, and we having the ball turned over, and then
That's surely an
not
aspect.
really controlling games like that because we keep losing that possession.
It's definitely an aspect of it, to be fair, because you can control games in the midfield and still play a ball over the top. Like, it doesn't really change that aspect. So it is one aspect that Porro's been underperforming, but I would put that more down to the amount of minutes he has to play because Udogie's been out. So we haven't had a right back really to replace him. So of course it's frustrating watching Porro play badly in the moment while you're watching it. But I mean, it's who else are we going to play there at the moment? Udogie's just coming back. You know, we're still rationing his minutes because he's not fully fit yet.
And Ben Davies is out injured as well.
And Ben Davies is out as well.
That's big. Like,
so
yeah.
So like, obviously we have to watch. Brian Porro is one of those players where if the first pass he makes is terrible, then you know he's going to have a bad game. If the first pass is good, he's going to have a good game. He's just predictable like that. But we can't really, in the moment you could blame Porro, but in the whole totality of everything, it's not his fault we don't have a right back to replace him right now. It's not. He has to play the game. So all he can do is show the intent of, I'm going to keep trying. And that's something I do respect Porro, is because it's not like he shies away from the moment. He's going to keep trying to make that pass. Yeah, so I respect the hell out of Porro for that.
But do you think then Frank should kind of, because we lose so much possession and we lose territory, or, you know, we don't have control of the game. Do you think, because I think with Ange, for example, we played a lot of short passes, or we hardly played any long passes. Problem with Ange's risk is he played both fullbacks in the kind of number 10 role, which left space in behind to get hit. So, and he had a high line. So that was his risk. Do you think Frank's risk is playing that over the top ball, those long balls, and losing possession? Do you think that's a risk for Frank?
I don't think. See, that's the thing. I think Frank wants both. He wants a balance. It's just trying to get the players to have that balance, because, you know, the one thing I'll say about every manager is that you can only go through the tactics and show the players what they want them to do. But if they cross that line and don't do it, what are you going to do? You cannot swap 11 players. You cannot start the game again. And I think that Frank, it's a very tough position in a manager's job, because if you're shouting and rollicking a player, especially in today's world, that player gets sensitive, he starts crying or whatever, and it just ruins the game. So basically, it's kind of like, right, I can't criticize these players, I can't shout at them, so I have to try and subtly drop them or not play them. But I do think that in like these players, especially the positions that they're in, should have the awareness and the knowledge. I mean, Mickey van de Ven, for example, is a perfect example of what a good or a great player can be or will be, because no centre back who's good or even, you know, one of the best would even think about that. They would have passed it off. He just went, and that was his IQ, that was his bravery, that was his risk. And I think that the thing is, we know that these players can do it. It's just that they tend to shell up, and it's a big. That's the difference between a great team and a good team. The great team.
How does Frank get over that? How do we get over it?
It's we back to this.
The market, like, is there not something tactically he can do to kind of prevent happening?
I think it's not a bad thing though to play that ball though. I'm pretty sure you'd agree on this. Like, it's not a bad idea to try a long ball now and again.
Yeah,
to break the line.
It's who, again, we're talking about the decision making. I think when it comes and boils down to it, it's all about decision making. When to play that ball, when not to play the ball. I mean, we all.
So football IQ, then the players that we have,
like,
so you're saying Porro's football IQ at the moment.
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, well, obviously, because he's playing so many minutes, the more fatigue you get quicker, the less time you think.
He's not fresh mentally.
Yeah. So if you look at Kudus, as great as Kudus is, we can all say that he lacks when to pass, when to dribble. And that was the thing against what's the Liverpool Man City game, Doku. Doku was kind of a Kudus kind of player, taking on but his end product. But now he looks more right. I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to cut in and I'm going to do this. With Kudus is, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to dribble, I'm going to dribble, I'm going to dribble.
But,
you know, so you have to.
But with Doku, he did come out and say a couple of weeks ago, and it was a very good example. What he does now and what he's been told to do is every time he looks up and he needs to find Haaland. And that's what he said. And that's what he's going to do. So maybe that's where Kudus' problem may be, is that actually Mawani's not fully fit.
Yeah.
And Richarlison's the guy that we've all been aiming for. And
look how that looks.
It's been
absolutely
right. Yeah.
Absolutely right. If you're doing all the hard work and you look up and you see someone like Richarlison, who more than likely is going to miss a chance, you're going to go, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah. So because actually, this is where I then tell myself with the whole Odebear situation. Odebear's probably been doing the same. And actually on Saturday, it was the first time I actually saw him put crosses in the box and not wait. Just do it, because you just don't know what the end product's going to be. And actually, in the end, he got Romero's. He set up Romero, and it was a great save from the keeper. And then and then obviously the goal, which I don't care what anyone says, Richarlison had to touch it. It wasn't going straight in.
So look at this here. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, you can.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll highlight Wilson Odobert, and these are all of our players at the moment. And Odobert has the most shot creation actions per 90.
Doesn't surprise me.
Which I thought, wow, okay, well, surprised me. I didn't think he'd have the most.
No, don't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I thought it might be
likes to shoot, likes to cut in and shoot.
Kudus is obviously second in that list. You know what I mean? And then I'm going for pass types, and we're talking about over the balls, over the top. And Paulinho's got the most switches.
I'm not surprised.
That's not
surprising, because you can tell that's what he's been doing.
Yeah, but if you go to the through balls, Pedro Porro, but we've only got one. No real playmaker. No one's really doing those passes through the middle.
Because Xavi, this goes back to Xavi being brave.
But then again, there's no striker making runs in behind.
That's what I was going to say. To be fair, when you have Richarlison up top, he's kind of back into the defender. But the problem is he's not physical enough, so he backs into the defender, then falls over. So it's not really, unless Brennan's on the pitch. How many through balls are going to be made?
And Mawani's not Mawani's game from the looks of it.
Also, progressive passing, Pedro Porro. I thought it would have been Romero, but it's Pedro Porro that leads it for progressive passing.
He would be. Porro would, because if you think about, we were all saying that he's only recently dropped in form, but if you think about before that point, everything was coming through him.
Yeah. What was the last metric I saw? Obviously, defensively, we know that it's Paulinho all day. He's like the best in the league.
Oh, he's a beast.
Paulinho is insane.
Don't say that's Jamie Carragher.
No, Jamie Carragher, he did criticize him, but he criticized the ability to pass that ball around the corner, which Paulinho doesn't do, because Paulinho is a number 8. He's not like a finesse passer in the ball. So, like, again, I listened to the whole thing about Jamie Carragher, and that's what he said. But he also stated Bentancur. He said, Bentancur should also, be there, or should be pushing to, be more aggressive and not let players. It just felt like, oh, I'll pass to you, I'll let you do something. He says Bentancur should have drove, or what Jamie Carragher was saying against Chelsea was that, and I've said it before, is that players aren't running into space. There's no one willing to run into space for each other. They weren't working for each other. It's
true.
So is it tactical, or is it them?
That's what I'm saying. It's again, we're not talking
both. That's why I said I put it more on the tactical side.
But the tactical side is, I believe that the tactical side is setting up the team and going, right, again, once you cross the line, you cannot. How do you tactically say to a player, like, why should you have to say to a player, right, run into space? If you have space, run into space.
The reason why I say that is because Norgard and Jensen done exactly the same at Brentford, and it was what's his name, Damsgaard, that used to play as the 10, and that's where they got the space from, and then the wingers would do what. That's why Bremer and Wiesel was so good. So I would sit there and say it's tactical more than anything else.
If you look at the profile wingers he had at Brentford, wouldn't you say they're more like vertical as opposed to ball to feet?
They're runners.
They're runners. They're all runners.
They're
Johnsons. They're Brennan Johnsons.
Yeah, the Bear Brennans. That's why we were linked to my man from Sade. We looked to Kevin Sade, weren't we? A lot of Spurs fans turned their nose up. But now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking maybe that's the type of player he kind of wants. Like I'm a man, I said, look at Ndai. He's a baller. We should get another guy that wants ball to feet, like Kudus times 2, innit? You've got Kudus on the right and Ndai on the left. But I'm starting to deep it and I'm thinking, does Thomas Frank really want another player? Because we got Odegaard already. does he want another player that wants the ball to feed? Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking Kudus can play across, not Kudus, Ndiaye can play across the front line. Obviously, he's playing on the right-hand side for Everton at the moment because Grealish is there. But last season, he played on the left-hand side and he scored like what?
But I think what you're asking for and what he's looking for, we already have it in Tel. He's just got to put Tel on the left.
Mm. But I think he sees Tel as a striker. Honestly,
I think he does see Tel as a striker, but I think Tel can be doing the job.
I look at these players though, and I'm like, I'm not looking at any of these players, which is why like I put more onus on Thomas Frank, like for the midfield specifically, because I'm not looking at any of these midfielders and thinking that they're egoists. Like they're gonna go on the pitch here and just do whatever the hell they want to do. I'm looking at the personality of these players, the way they perform, the way they look to the manager, and their characteristics. I'm like, bro, Bergwijn don't seem like egotistical to me. You know, Sarr doesn't, Bentancur doesn't, Palhinha doesn't, Xavi Simons doesn't. You know, none of these men look like any type of egotism. Like they're going to ignore what the manager's saying. I just personally think that the manager's set up very. The manager has a certain type of way he wants to set up.
What way would you set up? Because look, I've got the three here, like we just showed in the picture. Romero, Van der Ven, these are the three, yeah? All right. So you're saying like Sarr was here, Palhinha's here. Obviously, we know Palhinha 6, isn't it? Are you saying Sarr needs to kind of come a little bit more here, and it needs to look more like that? And that's one.
Playing Football Manager, you can set the tactics like that, but the most important thing was instructions. So I would say to Palhinha to hold that position. I would say Sarr, you can get forward when you think it's safe. Support the attack. Xavi, you stay in the middle. Richarlison, I don't even play him, but hypothetically, Richarlison's there. I would say Richarlison, you occupy the lid. You just keep occupying him. You don't have to do much.
Right. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So he's on the lid.
Yeah. Johnson, you stay in Shaw.
Johnson's on Shaw. All right.
Shaw, yeah.
So that means Palhinha's on Mbeumo, for example, right? Yeah. And fullback against fullback, Dorgu versus Porro, right? For example.
So but like if Porro plays as like more defensive minded or like
I know, but just trying to line up defensive matchups for.
What I'm saying is that it could potentially pull Dorgu slightly out of position, which gives Xavi Simons.
And then you have Sarr and Fernandez, Sarr and Fernandez, and then you would have Casemiro naturally and Xavi.
Right. Okay.
Now I would, because I know the players, I would say, right, Sarr, more than likely you're going to have more speed and energy to get in behind Fernandez, and a couple of times it did happen. They just shut down. So that would be the instructions. I would say, Xavi, you have enough speed to make it Casemiro look old that he is. Kalimawani, push Maguire back. And then, of course, you know, when they're attacking, Palhinha can like move up because what do you call him? Whoever that guy is that Palhinha's marking.
Oh, Mazraoui.
Yeah,
Palhinha.
Yeah. So Mbeumo's gonna
pulling Brian in it.
Yeah, right. He's not gonna stay there. He's gonna try and get in behind Palhinha or try.
Yeah, he's gonna try and occupy this space. So he's gonna try and drag Palhinha out.
Yeah. So of course you have Johnson who will sit back, but like it's the counter attack and making sure that you have runners. Richarlison, I know it's not gonna be running, so he's just gonna try and outmuscle the lead. Not even try and beat him. Just keep him occupied. Mawani, he can drop deep. Yeah, just keep him occupied, make runs in behind. And Johnson is a space. So I think, obviously, when Johnson drops deep, Shaw would come with him, which leaves Xavi and Johnson.
You're saying Johnson to drop deep here? Is that what we were saying?
Johnson? No, I'm saying when Johnson, like, say, United are attacking or when Spurs are.
We lose the ball and we go into a 4-4-2, for example.
Yeah, so basically that means I'll say, Johnson, your mission is to get in behind Shaw. That's as soon as you see Xavi gets the ball or Sarr get the ball, and I would give Sarr and Palhinha the instructions. Romero, Pearl's like, right, look for that Johnson run, because Johnson's going to beat Shaw all day long in the sprint, no problem.
So like Shaw's obviously here. Let's say Dorgu.
Yeah,
and you're saying, Johnson, we need you to be on your bike.
All the time. He has the energy to do it. He definitely has the energy to do it, and basically tire the fuck out of Shaw, get him. And that's what I'm saying. It's like when I say players don't work, it's not just working for each other as a team, but it's Richarlison. I would say Richarlison again against the lid. you just hassle him, tug his shirt, do your shithousery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get him upset. Mawani, he can handle Maguire. So when it comes to individual matchups, it's what these players, like that's the instructions I would give to these players. And I think that's bigger. Tactics are very important, of course, but I do believe and played countless hours of FIFA Football Manager. Maybe it's not of course it's not the same thing, but players' instructions.
The job now.
Yeah, players' instructions is important. It really is. Like giving them the right instructions and telling Sar, right, get forward when you can, when it's safe, not all the time.
Now, because look, there was defensive bit I want to talk about, and we spoke about it there. You've got Mawani on Maguire there. Maguire's making that forward pass, and like you can see Sar and who's that? And Xavi, they both got their hands out. I don't know if you look and see that. Both of them have got their hands out and are pointing to Casemiro like
that's where Richarlison should be.
Yeah, that's basically
right there. Like this is a part of the mid block. I'm holding this space. That's your job, isn't it? You know what I mean? Spence is obviously. Oh, I don't know if I can move this for a second. Sorry, Marlon. I'm messing up the thing.
Well, he's behind the logo.
Yeah,
he's guarding the Mazraoui pass.
So basically. So you've got Van der Ven as well. Is that Van der Ven?
Yeah.
Just behind Dallo. Do you know what I'm saying? So Sar saying, look, control Casemiro. And Casemiro, for me, when I watched it, he had a lot of time on the ball. Because he would drop off that midfield line, you know, that typical where him and Bruno's more like the risky one. He will kind of float, venture, and try to take those risky passes. Whereas Casemiro played more like a deep line playmaker, if that makes sense. He picked the ball off like a Maguire or a Shaw, and he would drift from right to left, but he's always behind our three in that 4-2-3-1. And because no one was picking him up, he was able to thread the balls into the forward line a bit easier. Or sometimes he would do short passes, and sometimes he do that medium pass. You see that Romero does to kind of hit and break our compact shape when we were defending in that mid block. Do you know what I'm saying? So it shows it here anyway. He gets the ball, gets his head up, and you can see that is it Cunha number 10. He's on his bike.
Yeah,
ready to go on. Sorry, go on. I thought you were gonna say something.
No.
But that's the thing. It's like he gets the ball. Cunha's on his bike. That's a difference. Like if Xavi, when Xavi gets ball, the sort of players like, oh, we're just gonna watch him. It's running to space, and even in that position, I mean, look at it. Spurs have enough players back, and Richarlison, who's meant to be covering Casemiro, still hasn't covered him because he hasn't sprint towards Casemiro. He's jogged over to him, and that's a big difference. It's like if you sprint towards a player and show that, Casemiro might have passed it back under pressure. But because the likes of Richarlison or it's you gotta work for each other. And I think Sar's doing well because the thing is, I know he's been disciplined in something we don't like, but I think if Sar pushed to get Casemiro, then Casemiro would have just played the ball in to the spare man because Richarlison's a no man land. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a ball watcher, and it's not Slayton. We've seen enough performance to say that that's what he does. So I think with that defensive structure, it is right. Be more defensive, be more calmer. Don't rush up. And because I think what Sar has done before as well is he's rushed, missed a tackle, and he's exposed the middle. And I don't think this is going to be a permanent thing for Sar. I think once he learns how to be disciplined and when to make runs, it'll make him a better player.
Do you not think Sar's the scapegoat at the moment? Because
I'm not criticizing Sar. Oh,
no,
I'm not criticizing.
I know you're not.
No, he definitely is.
That's why I picked up.
He definitely is one of them. Yes.
And basically, what happened was I didn't put this clip up. I should have put this clip up. My bad, innit? But basically, we all remember it. He basically is in the box, and instead of him clearing his lines, he's kind of dribbled it to, he's passed it to Van der Ven, innit?
Yeah.
Instead of just clearing it.
Yeah, that's what cost us the first goal.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? Go on, Marlon.
But people won't look at Van der Ven not clearing his lines either. Because Van der Ven's the golden boy.
And Paul also loses his man straight.
Loses his man. And to be fair, and then you could look at Vicario, his positioning. Like, I'm sorry, that's
he doesn't even dive.
Doesn't even dive, and it's close to him. It's
He just
in
has to
his
do this.
vicinity.
I should have put the picture up.
He
Because
just has to do that.
Yeah,
He's dangerous.
there's so many other issues, and yes, I get Sarr should have played Van der Ven the ball, but Spurs could have cleared their lines, and I think Spence tries to clear the header, and he doesn't clear it long enough. There's so many problems to why that goal happened.
there were so many chances before that.
Before he even gets
before that. Do you know what I'm saying?
But that's why I say he's being scapegoat, because like if we're being honest, yeah, Spurs fans don't know what they like.
We don't know what we want.
In order to like,
we don't know what we want.
Yeah,
like,
I have to say this point.
Okay, go on, Aaron. Sorry.
Sorry.
Go on.
Because I have to like shit on. But Ash,
Go on.
you said it perfectly, 100% perfectly at the start of the season. Spurs fans will they give Thomas Frank time? At Brentford, he had time to mold the players. We never heard of Mbeumo or any of those players that we admire now, but they were under bigger pressure. But right now, Thomas, you said it, will the fans give Thomas Frank time, and even players? Sarr's not doing this. I mean, Sarr was a golden boy a couple of months ago. Now he's just, as I said, scapegoat. You're right. Because for some reason, the Spurs fans will boo a player straight away. Unless he plays the mental card or racist card, then they take pity. But otherwise, there is no patience. Absolutely no patience.
I just on a side note.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to do this? Spurs injuries.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, Ange pulled that.
Oh my God, Dave. You lot are really putting great right back.
I'm not pulling anyone.
The first person I looked at was Bissouma.
No, wait. Isn't Dragusin back? He's back. Dragoson's back.
Dragoson's back now, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kudus is back technically.
Yeah, and I think Dragusin is back as well.
Yeah, Dragoshin should be playing a couple of games during this international break at the Lodge or Tottenham Hotspur training ground.
All right, cool. All right, but
he's back on ground.
Basouma's gone. He's not playing for Frank again this season.
All right. So, okay. So what you mentioned? What 3 players?
There's still 7 or 8 players, even with
that you can't.
There's still a lot of.
Yeah, I obviously put out a whole squad there, but like minus a keeper. But does Frank get the same? Because a lot of people are saying, Ange the injuries. Does Frank get that same kind of grace, or is it nah? Even if those players come back, we're still going to be looking the same. We're still going to be stodgy at home. We're going to look nervous and lose game. Like
what are you smoking?
Like, where are you guys on this Frank barometer? Like, if I said Frank out was 1,
that's the thing,
and Frank in with 10, what would you label yourself? What number would you come at?
Wait, what's the question? I didn't hear it.
If I said Frank out was number 1,
yeah,
and Frank in was number 10, where would you put yourself?
I've had Frank on forward watch for ages, but I'm not Frank out.
Yeah. So where would you put yourself?
I'd put him
1 being like I'm in,
like a 5. I'm just like in the middle.
For what he's doing. I mean, we have to remember that Spurs are, as a club, going through a massive transition as well. Chairman's gone.
Do you think the style of play will change though? Do you think or is this
the style of? Yeah, I think. Yeah, but you have to understand the style of play. When we watched Brentford, they were very good at attacking and creative, and I just think that right now
on the counter attack,
on the counter attack,
not as in the. Because we've got most of the ball, and this is what people's complaints are about. We're not going to be that. We're not going to be creative.
If it's in the counter attack, when we play the smaller teams, not smaller teams, but the teams that we expect to beat at home, I'm talking about the home situation.
Mm-hmm. That's tactical.
How does that change now? Because obviously, counter attacking football at home against Burnley, obviously we played them already, but do you know what I mean? A team that we're expected to beat, let's say a Brentford,
Wolves.
We're playing Fulham at home in a couple of weeks. After we got Fulham.
Silver will get a point, don't worry.
As I said before,
fans are right now to think, wow, we're at home, we should be front-footed. And you're saying against this Brentford style, he created a lot.
It's like what these lower teams do is that yes, they counter attack sometimes, but they just, again, I've said it, and they just run for each other. That's on the players. You have to be brave enough to run for each other, make runs for each other, pass to each other. And I think when Spurs play at home, the nervousness kicks in really quickly.
Yeah, because the team's sitting in a low block. the opposition is sitting in a low block.
Well,
Man United sat in a low block, and that I think that confused them a little bit.
Yeah,
but they know if Amorim didn't sit in a low block after seeing that left hand side, then he's just mentally tapped. I can't lie.
Yeah.
That's
But he to be fair to Amorim, he got it tactically right. And
Yeah.
and if we would have got 3 points against Man United, we stole that 3 points.
Yeah.
Man United deserved to draw at least.
Yeah.
To come away with something.
But we'll find out.
No, but the point still remains.
Yeah.
Man United aside, Fulham are like, I think 1 point or 3 points outside the drop, right?
Yeah, but it's again that's isn't that down to the players' mentality to
Yeah,
go, right? We can just turn up and win.
Yeah, but
Shouldn't
we drew with Wolves at home.
But that's what I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So
like
no, we've got no right to beat anybody at home now. That is it. We literally lost rock bottom. I've played one good game this season, which happened to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because we allowed them to do it.
We can't make it up. Like, so, like Fulham, they're not doing well now. Like, what are we like? We can't say counter-attacking against Fulham because we're gonna have the ball. And you're saying players run for each other, but 2 backs to 4. You know what I'm saying?
Try 3-4-3, bro.
5-4-1.
That's what I'm saying. Though we against the best teams find a way, and like if you classic example, Man City, there was like 2 years where every team, majority of the teams, played a low back against Man City.
Yeah,
but they're passing interest in movement.
I found a way.
So it's finding a way, and that's up to the players to take a shot, to try being risky. If you have players who are not going to be doing that because they want to play it safe, that's going to be the issue, you know. And again, it's like I get maybe you can say tactical and stuff, and sure, but I just believe that if I'm a professional football player and I'm getting paid the money that I'm getting paid, once I cross the line, it's up to me to make that decision. You know, does Frank say to Romero, right? You know, Romero stands the ball and goes, right, I choose to pass that ball. He doesn't have to do it.
I hear it. All right, explain this to me. Can you see this on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
This is the shots from all the Premier League teams.
Yeah.
Tottenham, currently, that's number 20. That's number 19. We're 18th in terms of actual shots.
Don't take shots. That's not on Frank.
Yeah.
I don't think Frank is saying, hey, guys, don't shoot.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not on Thomas Frank because the forward line is just subpar. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to stuff like this is why I give Frank grace because he can't force Richarlison because like Richarlison's a done deal. We know he's, you know what I'm saying, he's Richarlison. But like, if the forward line in general is just subpar, you can't expect to always take a lot of shots. But
all right, so let's go to shot creation actions. That's not actual shots. That's creating shots. Yeah, shot creation actions. Burnley are 20th. We're 19th. Is that slightly concerning? No.
Yeah,
but concerning, but he can't do much about that. Frank can't do much.
But how does this? Yeah. So how does this compare to Brentford from last year and Brentford the year before? Because we can sit and compare it to clubs this year, but the one thing that we've always said about Thomas Frank football is they don't create much chances. They create chances that you're more likely to score from.
Because if the whole thing is like we're setting up to be defensively solid, because look how bad we were defensively last year, then of course if you set up with a defensive priority, then your attack is going to suffer. You can't set up defensively and then have a great attack. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah. I mean,
how many goals we like the second or third top goal scorers in the league or something.
Which is bizarre.
It's bizarre, isn't it? But like that's just how it goes.
It is bizarre, but some of the goals
we just score at an abnormally high rate compared to the amount of shots we generate.
How many of those goals that we're talking about are open play goals? Do you know?
Yeah, the corners and set pieces.
You got to take into account that like we have like 4 or 5 own goals. Well.
At least they're not penalties.
To be fair, this is analysis. We're trying to break it down, right? To be fair,
our defensive actions are first. There you go. Like literally.
I hear it, but if we go to, let's go to something that Mr. Box Office hates. It's called expected goals.
Oh,
you hate it as well, Marlon. Yeah,
can't stand it.
I don't like
expected goals, right? Meaning that the chances we get or we create, we're closer to the goal, and there's less bodies in front of the box, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
something like that, something along those lines. I paraphrase. But for expected goals, again, it doesn't read good. We're like 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15th.
Yeah,
15th. So, would you not agree that these metrics have to improve for us to become a little bit better? No.
Well, of
Only,
course.
only slightly. Only slightly. We need to be where they are. Well, not even Arsenal, but the City are up there.
If we're average attacking wise with the defense we have, then I think that's enough for now. Of course, like
the last bit I'll make is sorry to cut
Okay,
you.
go
The
ahead.
last bit I'll make, and then you can carry on. Would be defensively. Where is it? One past it. So defensively, can't find it. We are the top team.
Mhm.
That's what I was going to end on. We are the top team.
That's what I'm
Tackle
saying.
one, we're third. Defensive third, we're fourth. Mid third, we're first. So in the middle of the park, what I was showing, we're actually quite good there. And attacking third, we're in the top 10, just below Arsenal. All right. But yeah, sorry, carry on, bro. I interrupted.
No, I think for this season, being an average attack with the defense we have is more than enough, in my opinion. I don't see why it isn't for this season. If you want to say, oh, because people are just like on the players, like whether that's the biggest divide really for people who are Frank out or Frank in is how good are the players versus your expectations. Because some people think that the players are shit, and some people think the players are not as bad as people make them out to be. But at the end of the day, that's where the disconnect comes from: is how good do we think the players are, and what do we think we can do with the players that are available?
What do you think then? All right.
Sorry. Just I have to go here.
All right,
Nice time, you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah.
Take
See you
care.
later.
Love and respect and manners, man.
Nice.
It's all right. So what I was going to say, does anyone not think it's a little bit concerning that we're not creating, especially at home, for example? We're not really taking matters into our own hands. We're not. I think the brand of football is one thing, but not being able to like have shots on goal, test the keeper, or even not testing the keeper, getting shots off. Like, isn't that a concern moving forward, Deji? You're on mute still. Still on mute. Don't know if you can hear us.
Can hear us.
He can hear us. Yeah.
I don't think his microphone's working. Try coming out and come back in because your microphone, you're not giving permission to your mic.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys. Apologies for my late arrival, but I couldn't miss tonight's show. Look, the truth of the matter is, Thomas Frank and his attacking football's dusted and Tutankhamun. I think looking at our players, Elijah, I semi kind of agree with you, but I think there's still enough in there for us to at least be creating chances.
Oh no, I agree.
I found myself for the last 3 or 4 home games thinking I just want a shot and goal, and that is a disgrace in itself. The way that we set up against Man United, I've been calling that for that pretty much all season. I don't think Richarlison's a great striker, but he's better on the left than he is as a number 9. We called out for Mawani to play the number 9, and we were asking for Kudus. I think if Kudus had played against United, I think we win that game. We were about to win that game with bloody Brennan Johnson. But you can see that, and I was saying the other day that this attack is pretty much the same attack we had last season. Let's be real. Apart from Kudus, that's the attacking line that Ange Postecoglou was able to get a tune out and get goals from. So there's really no excuse, because all we were asking for as Spurs fans was not to play the high line, drop the line just a little bit, but kind of keep everything the same. And we all said Thomas Frank is the guy to do that because he's pragmatic. All of a sudden, what we've ended up with is defend. And the defending ain't really that great, let's be honest, but it's there. And we know what, we are devoid of any attacking prowess, any ideas. So for me, I think it's all on Frank. Odebear has potential. Tel has potential. But definitely there's enough in there for us to be creative.
But the problem you've got, though, when you look at, you've just said the same as last year and we've swapped Kudus in. The problem is that you're taking out a Brennan Johnson that scored most of our goals last year in our system. And you've replaced it with Kudus, who didn't score as many. He might be the better player, but he doesn't score as many. And we're struggling because there's no Solanke. And Odebear's come back, and Odebear's not known for his goals and assists.
Yeah. Marlon, do you agree with the hot takes with Johnson playing up top and Porro playing out wide?
I wouldn't put Porro out wide because I just think he's not. He needs to be where he is. But for Johnson, maybe we have to try something because it's Moani wasn't working. No matter look, we could see there was potential, but Moani didn't work. And then Richarlison does not work at all.
Moani's done for you.
No, Moani's done. Moani's loan's probably done because he's injured. He's injured now. When's he realistically going to come back in January? Solanke should be back. How many chances is he really going to get under Frank after that? Especially if he wants Tony back.
Wow.
Solanke is a great. I actually thought Solanke might do well under Frank, but with all the news that I'm seeing about Tony, it's like he's not going to be given a sniff, which is so
weird and odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you not think of that? So because we are looking at another centre forward and Tony's the man. So yeah, do you not think that Solanke's he would sell him like come next summer?
I think he would. I think
him and Richie. I think he'd look to offload both of them.
I think he wants Richie gone. Yeah, I think he wants Richie gone. But Solanke, I don't think he's.
So why did he persist? Why did he persist on playing Richie when Tel was there? I don't understand that. Make that make sense.
I think the United games are one of because the international break was right there. But when it was just Richie and Tel, like there's a reason why Tel was left out of the Champions League squad is because if it's just Richie and Tel, Richie has to start in the Champs, which means that Tel was going to have to start in the Prem. I think with Kolo Muani getting into the squad before he just got injured again, started to see a bit more of a rotation between Kolo Muani, Richie, and Tel at that point. And now, obviously, Muani's just gone down. And the way Solanke's looking, we might not see him this year. He might be back in 2026 at some point. So if we really just have two strikers for the rest of the year, we're going to see Tel start most of the Premier League games at this point.
Yeah.
Because what else can we do, really? There ain't nothing else we can do.
Do you not think then Tony improves like if he comes into our team, we like that front line just dramatically?
No. I don't know. I don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know.
I almost feel like I can't believe I'm saying this because I think Manchester Piccadilly is one of the dustiest teams I've ever seen in my life. But I almost feel like I would want to redo the midfield. And I would want to get someone on the left. So I think there's a big shout that if a Semenyo type player came into Spurs, that would provide some much needed balance. And I don't know if it was you, Ash, that said that that's the kind of Frank system he needs, an outlet on the right, and he also needs an outlet on the left. Right now, he's not had an outlet on the left, so that has really kind of limited our play. Mm-hmm. But when I'm looking at our midfield, the only person I would kind of keep is Polina. I'm feeling like we need an 8, but not the 8 that we have. I almost feel like the type of 8 I would have loved to have seen maybe is maybe a Morgan Rogers. I don't know if he's going to play that role or something. I don't know. Like Sarr is good, but not quite it for me. Bird not quite it. Do you know what I mean?
A technical player, someone that can get on the half turn,
and
beat his man.
Come on. But the problem you've got, if we go back to that Sarr clip earlier, they're going to be standing right next to Paulinho, not doing the stuff you want.
So you think, regardless, like,
but I don't think Paulinho should have played against United.
Yeah.
Say that again. Sorry.
To who? Me or?
You, Ash,
so you think regardless, where's the clip? I need to find it again.
Yeah, that is what you're going to get your from. Yeah,
whatever midfielder we bring in,
they're going to be sitting there.
Or a Bentancur. They're going to sit. It's always going to be a 4-2-3-1, never a 4-3-3.
Nope. It's always, and what you're looking at is then you don't if say so. Let you see is that Spence on the left hand side there.
Yes,
So. Yeah. Doggy will be far on that left. He will be closer to Matsharari because that's where Ethan Pinnock played,
right?
When he under Frank, and then
Lewis Potter also played.
Lewis Potter played there as well. Okay. But that is exactly where he wants that left winger to be. So that midfielder will always be there, and it won't change. And then what you're hoping for is in this situation that Xavi will be more braver on the ball.
Don't you think though? You see where Richarlison is.
Yeah,
he's obviously he looks like he's playing as a striker,
which he wanted. Which Frank said on Saturday just before they kicked off. He said he wanted to put the two up top.
Do you think then? But do you think in another world, if Odegaard is playing, he's not in that position. He's more either out wide or he's a little bit more to maybe like in between the lines, in between. You see,
but didn't Frank say at the beginning of the season with Odegaard as well, he could use him as a number 10. So maybe would he not play that role as well?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So would like that this particular clip, that midfield dynamic where you've got Sarr, it's not really a problem because you've got, let's say, a doggy out wide where Spence is on the far left. He can interchange with a doggy or Xavi. So you've got three players potentially that can rotate. They can all go narrow in that pocket, which I'm talking about, or they can all play wide equally. So that's where we find the free man. That's where we find the space. So effectively, that midfielder standing behind doesn't really matter too much, unless certain games he's like, you know what, I do want to play a 4-3-3 because we've got different profiles.
Yeah. But,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've
but
got
like
a midfielder now that kind of, you know.
But yes, signing that as they say, number 8 or that central midfielder, you're still gonna have the same problem, no matter who it's gonna be.
And I know these midfielders that we want. Obviously, that's going to propel us to like.
Who do you look on? I know Adeji said Rodgers. Who do you look? Who would you?
Someone, I guess, someone like João Neves, someone like that. I guess, like that kind of profile.
Even João Gomez from Wolves.
Yeah, like that, and that kind of profile.
Would you take that player that used to play for Wolves? Do you remember him?
What, Ruben Neves?
Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
Like that kind of profile of player. Yeah, something like that.
Would you take that, Marlon? Would you take a Ruben Neves?
To be honest, I don't think I've been saying this from day dot, and this is why I don't think our 6 and 8 are the problem. They're not the issue.
Okay, you think the left side is a problem?
I think the left side and that number 10 is a major issue. And even on the right, when Kudus was there, I said Kudus was an issue because he wasn't getting it in the box quick enough, which then causes a problem then for our striker because our strikers are not good enough. So that front 4 is our major issue more than anything else.
So you're saying the it's not marinating.
Basically. It's and because for what we saw Bentancur come on and do on Saturday, he can do it. I think he's being told not to.
Copenhagen.
Yeah,
I think it's the manager's midfield tactics are just awful.
Instruction.
But that's where it comes back to. Like that's always been my biggest gripe and face. Again, I look at these midfield players and I know they're not good enough for us to push for the title or for title contention. Like I've never said like I've always been high on Sarr, but not in terms of he's that level. But I look at this midfield that we have and the options we have, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be top 6 comfortably, dominating the midfield in most of the games we play.
And it's not the away form that's the problem, because away from home is working. Like no one's got no complaints about away from home. It's as soon as we get to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium,
we got to dominate. We got to
dominate, and we got to beat, and it's not working.
But what I'm saying is there a world where do you think Frank will never play? Because a lot of fans were getting behind Frank because they thought we'd go to a back 3. You know what I'm saying, with the wing backs.
Can I just answer this question?
Yeah, go on.
I think the biggest problem that we've had this season, so with your doggy being out and Spence having to play left, it's unfortunate that Dragusin and Ben Davies haven't been available, because the perfect person to play that left back spot is Van der Ven. And people will be going, but you're going to take him out centre back. But he causes so much issues going forward for teams.
Go on. I was going to say, I've never seen Van der Ven as a left back go up and down like that.
Yeah, he did though. No, do you remember those last 2 games under Ange when we had Sheffield United and Burnley, and he completely just went bang, 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 and he scored a goal, didn't he? And I've always said it's unfortunate we've never been able to play him at left back or even a left wing back, because I think he would do because the run he made against Copenhagen on Wednesday or Tuesday, imagine him doing that as a left wing back, and he's running at players. People, they're going to be scared of him.
You know what?
His decision making and his passing ability just good enough consistently to do that.
But he doesn't need to be, because Udogie ain't good at passing. Udogie's terrible, but Udogie gets in certain positions to cause problems where when he does get in the box and he lays that terrible ball, actually the defenders don't know what to do or cope, because they don't know whether it's going across or coming back. And that's where your midfielders and whoever the number 10 is or your strikers are going to be.
I get what you're trying to say. I just don't think Van der Ven's on ball ability is anywhere near as good as Udogie's in those type of areas. I don't think so.
No, it's not. But he should be the backup. That's what I'm saying. He should be the backup behind.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is when we play out from the back, you've got a left-footed player playing out, and he's able to pass that ball forwards. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because a lot of the time you give it to Spence, he's got to check back on it to his stronger foot, which is his right foot.
Yeah.
And then that cuts off a passing lane. Do you know what I mean? When you can go down the line first time, if you've got a left footer, you're not getting that with Spence. He's got to pass backwards because he hasn't got that. He hasn't got a left foot. If you notice, if you watch him, he checks back onto his right foot and he passes it backwards a lot of the time. And
That's what Kudus used to do.
He stops our ball progression. He stops our ball progression.
And Xavi Simons does it too, yeah.
And so what Marlon's saying is, well, if we had one of those defenders like a Takai or Dragushin, or even if you got Danso playing left and Dragushin playing right, for example, whatever, you still got an option for Spence playing right back or Porro playing right back, and then you've got an option of Van der Ven playing left back, or you've got Udogie playing left back. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. And that kind of solves a lot of issues because at Brentford, I remember they were missing. Is it Rico Henry? They were missing
for a while. Rico Henry, and Lewis Potter.
And Lewis Potter, I can't remember what club he came from, but he was a midfielder. And so what they did is they converted him, and I think. I was like, you know what? Frank's a good manager for that reason because he saw the issue that he had and he converted one of his players to play a different position. And now, everyone sees Lewis Potter as a left wing back because he's so up and down. And do you know what I mean? So I think Marlon might have a point there.
Yeah, I think Marlon has a point, and also because for the Netherlands, Van der Ven is playing left back.
Correct.
But a lot of people listen to that though and go, "Why are you going to take our best centre back out?" And play him as a left back, and I do understand the argument, but I believe what will end up happening is that you don't then need a Van der Ven to be centre back because he's causing so many issues from our front line. We're not defending as much, and maybe that's why I look at it like that. But it's one of them.
How do you not feel?
I mean, a little birdie told me a couple of seasons ago, and this would make the most logical sense. Sorry, Ash. That we were in for Mark Gay. Now, if we brought in Mark Gay and that would be a logical thing then to put Van der Ven on the left because now we've got someone who's just as capable, maybe not as quick, but just as capable playing in that left centre back role. And I think that would be shrewd business from Spurs, I reckon.
Yeah, I think Gay can talk to foreign clubs now. I believe Barcelona are trying to sign him.
Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Yeah, they're trying. Yeah, the big clubs are. Everyone's waited too long.
Yeah, the other thing, Spence actually plays better on the left than he does on the right.
Yeah.
We're linked to a few centre backs at the moment. Ones that people aren't aware of.
We should have gone for Hincapi though. I don't know what we were playing at. How we let
Arsenal got him in.
How we let Arsenal get him, I do not know.
Yeah, Arsenal came well.
But my man's available, isn't he, in the summer?
Yeah,
Timber.
Yeah.
Timber. I wanted him from.
I say take him.
He's a free transfer. He's a free transfer, man. He's available. Feyenoord are trying to.
He's not getting games, lads. I don't know. Do you know want Skelly? Just asking. I'm just asking. I don't know. You don't have to answer that. I'm only joking. But did you not think we would be going to? Because remember PSG, we played really well in that back three. Do you think if all those defenders were available, like Marlon was saying, Frank would go to a back three at times and switch it up, or do you think you'd stick with this?
No, because he doesn't have the striker profile to play the two up top that's necessary to play the back three.
3-4-3 though.
I don't see that working with these players.
Why not? Right, let's
I don't. The reason I don't see it working is because, first of all, you would Spence as a left wing back would be issues attacking wise, and also
all our defenders back. So with all our defenders back, you could have a doggy.
Assuming everyone's healthy, yeah.
Assuming everyone's healthy.
Okay.
A doggy left.
I see it working a bit more then at that point if everyone's back. What I would say though is it would put a lot of onus on whoever we have up top because the wingers that we have aren't really inside forwards. Like Odobert, I know he's left foot, I know he's right footed, he plays on the left, but he plays like a touchline winger. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't play like he cuts in.
Tells an inside forward.
But how much do we rate Tel? You know what I'm saying? Tel, how good is Tel? Let's be honest. He's an inside forward. How much do you? Yeah, Richarlison, Tel.
I see man say, I told you.
Because if we play because if everyone's healthy, obviously we'll probably have Kolo Muani, and then you'll have. But if you want to play Tel as an inside forward, then you have to have Kudus in there as well. Mm-hmm. It's Kudus, he's an inside forward, sure, but it's he plays as a touchline winger right now, and it's it's just the caliber of winger that we have. They're not inside forwards.
Could you play inside forward 4-3-3 or not? You don't see him as
what Kulusevski?
Yeah, Kulusevski or no?
Kulusevski is annoying to me because he loves being on the right, but he's so one-footed that he will just turn around and just break plays up.
Put him back up front.
And it's annoying. It's just annoying, isn't it? But I just don't. We have the defense to play a back three because, in my opinion, we have one of the best defense. We have one of the better defenders in the league. I think we're top three, in my opinion. But it's just the forward line we have wouldn't suit what we need to do in like going forward. Like defensively, and I think in the midfield we'll be fine. But the attacking players we have, I don't know.
Can I ask a point? Because Ash, you said something about if we have all our defenders back. In my head, I don't see why we can't play a back three now, because I think our three best defenders is Danzo, Romero, and Van der Ven. So what are you suggesting?
If you have to sub one of them, we ain't got a centre back on the bench to sub them now because Gray's out.
I know, but what were you thinking? What, a Dragoshin or Ben Davies ahead of Danzo?
No. If they get injured, so like you're playing your three centre backs.
But why haven't we done that though now?
Because we don't have the cover. So like if Danzo gets injured, if Romero gets injured, Romero has been injured already this season.
Yeah, so we've only had the two. We've literally only had the two.
Then you just go to a back four.
I hear it. But
you know what I'm saying? Like we need to be fluid, no?
Well, I think the question we also have to ask and take into account as well is how many. I know Thomas Frank's adaptable, but this is one of the problems with adaptable managers is you don't have a set way of playing. If you're good at playing 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 flat, 4-2-1-3, 3-5-2, 3-4-3, how many? You can't be perfect at every formation. No manager is. Manager's perfect.
He should stick to that formation. He should stick to a formation. He should be.
I think he should figure out what formation is best for the squad he currently has and work on perfecting that first before we start moving. Whether it's a 3-back or a 4-back, I don't know. But
I get
Thomas,
that. Yeah.
if like changing from game to game, like because what he did at Brentford, you can change from game to game because not only are the stakes not higher, but also the players will rely on a decision maker from the manager. Similar to what Oren was saying, like some of the players, if you're at Tottenham, yes, you can listen to the manager, but you also have to have the cojones to do it yourself because especially if you're going to be at Spurs, like you're not at Brentford where you're supposed to just be taking orders all the time. But when it comes to the players we currently have, everyone's kind of debating whether a back four or a back three is needed or what the formation is. I think Thomas Frank should focus on one formation, perfecting that, then move on to another. Because if you have to change between a back three one game and then a back five, or depending on how we play, or a back four with three up top or two up top or one up top, I just don't think that the players, plus the manager, I think the manager is going to be just doing too much. There's a such thing as doing too much, but also the players are not going to be able to process
your philosophy kind
everything.
Of guy. Would you say your philosophy kind of guy then?
Yeah, I feel like a manager he should have his style of play. And then he should have a backup plan in case it doesn't work out.
Ange's philosophy first.
But the problem is that Ange was just philosophy. That's the problem. Like, if it doesn't work, then he's okay losing. That was the problem with it.
Yeah, because Pep has a philosophy. Klopp had a philosophy.
Every great manager has a philosophy. But they're willing to change it and do something else if it's not working.
You don't think that Frank's got a philosophy? You think literally?
I don't know what the philosophy is. I haven't seen it.
No, I think he sets up. He sets up for the opposition.
That's what I'm saying,
and that's what everyone's problem is with him.
He literally has the game plan is to negate the opposition.
Yes, but the problem is that
because his own ideas and he wants to kind of imprint.
Yeah, he wants to stop the opposition and then rely on us being able to score. But if we either don't score or we can't create, what happens if the opposition isn't neutralized? If we go a goal down, then we have to change it up. And I think that players. They can accept and they can implement what the manager wants to do. I think the players are good enough to do that. Plus, they're not egotistical, so they will do what Frank tells them to do. But the problem is that if you're
the crowd at the end,
sure. But the whole premise of it is that if you're asking them to do something different every single game, then there's no sense of familiarity. Yeah. There's no sense, at least when it comes to Ange Ball.
You say though that the style of play at the moment is that he uses the width a lot. So he likes to go down the sides, occupy the sides. He doesn't like to build through the middle. So teams they want to kind of prioritize the middle and try to attack. He would rather build down the sides and attack you that way, or he will try to hit the little half spaces as he gets towards the box and find those kind of diagonals into the front players. But at the moment, we don't have the front man. We don't have the striker.
But that's why he's doing it, because Kolo Muani could do that, but now he's injured again. But Richarlison can't do that. And Tel he's not really making that run all the time. He's more of a ball to feet kind of player, kind of link up. At least that's what it looks like off instinct. So he's trying to utilize the wings, and that would be the wings are supposed to create and score, because that's kind of just how it is, really. And I don't necessarily fully agree with how he's running that, to be honest, but that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there.
Yeah, I think you're right, Elijah. I think there's a lot going on for Frank, but I feel like a lot of Frank's issues are, dare I say, it seems a little bit naive, because the kind of style that he wants to play is a kind of Liverpool style. You know, if you've got the wingers that can play that way, then you can cause devastation in the location, but you can't do that with an Odebear. You can't do that with a Kudus. So therefore, keep it simple, man. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's almost like he's I was also criticizing him for, like, how could you start Tel and Odebear against Villa? Like, I couldn't, like, that's not setting up to win. That's like you guys said, it's setting up not to lose. So for me, keep it simple, ride it out. I would have just set up the same way we set up at the beginning of the season. We're going to sit back and we're going to just hit you on the counter. That's the same way we played against PSG and Man City, because we don't have the players to do anything else. Then wait till Jan, bring in the faces that we need, and then try and implement that style of play. But with no
how do you play that against a Fulham? How do you play a three at the back and hit them on a counter against Fulham? That was my point earlier.
Let Fulham have the ball.
Let Fulham have the ball, bro. We don't play well with the ball.
Conte, they hated that. Remember, Conte, like teams like Fulham and Bournemouth and Brentford, they had all the possession. And we're like, we're Tottenham, bitch. The fuck you mean? Why are they having all the ball?
But that's why I say the fans don't know what they want.
We won
what
games,
the fans want change depending on how much they like the manager. That's the problem, though. Because man, them love Thomas Frank, so they're willing to stick it out, though.
How long will Frank last? Because you lot are sounding a bit iffy right now. I'm gonna lie. Like,
Frank's got at least the earliest Frank will get sacked is the end of next season.
He's gonna last a year. Does he get a year?
You'll get 2 years standard.
Yeah, the earliest he gets sacked is the end of next season.
So he'll be our second longest serving manager, or third.
They love Thomas Frank, bro. They love Thomas Frank.
I don't know. We do love Thomas Frank. Almost every Spurs fan that I'm speaking to are bored out of their wits, and these are.
But that's the home form. When you look at the away fans are loving him at the moment, because if you look at the way we're being set up away, it's a lot better. And let's be honest here. If he gets a result at the Emirates, if
he gets it, he's a legend.
Right, then he's gonna get weeks after that, because he's away from this whole thing that's keeping.
He's gonna get years.
But that's the thing. Like,
can I just say one?
The owners. Sorry, I'm only gonna take 10 seconds. But like, the reason we're better away is because the onus is on the home team to usually set the tone. That's why, innit?
Yeah.
So and that's why it's the midfield tactics is the biggest gripe for me, because if you control the midfield, you control the game. That's how I've always looked at it. That our best performance so far has been against Copenhagen. Why? Because we controlled the midfield. We didn't let them do anything. And it doesn't matter who you have up top yet. You could have Richarlison up top, even that bum himself. If you control the midfield, it automatically gives him more room to operate and more chances to create something. You get more opportunity.
Wait. You're telling me against that first game against Burnley? Sorry to interrupt you as well, Deji. Burnley, we did not play a 4-2-3-1 at home. We didn't. We couldn't have. We had Bergvall.
It was great. Bergvall.
That's not a 4. We weren't playing a 4. We were playing a 4-3-3. First,
we were, because they were flat 3.
They were flat 3. So
Bergvall. Yeah. So what happened was, what Ash is saying, you had Archie Gray in the middle of Sarr and Bergvall. But what ended up happening is they were flat. Yeah. But Bergvall and Sarr would push forward, and Gray would sit. Because I was annoyed with Gray in that game. I remember because his passes were side. He would never forward.
Well, what's that? What's that? I was talking about? I don't know.
Because we're not at the present moment. We're not playing a flat 3.
We're not playing a flat 3.
I didn't say anything about flat 3 though.
No, but what you're saying about the midfield,
controlling the midfield. And the one time we did control the midfield was a flat 3.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now.
People don't like it. Sideways and backwards. That's how you recycle. That's how you control the game. You control the tempo.
Elijah swear to you, actually, don't like that one. Don't like that one. It's got the middle finger up.
No, I didn't mean that.
Deji, you're gonna say, Deji, you're saying something. Sorry, I don't know if you remember it, but sorry, go on.
The only thing that kind of it dawned on me the other day, and some people might think I'm a little bit too outlandish with this, but I'm not sure with what I've seen from Frank that Spurs could finish higher than 6th with this brother.
You don't think we win trophies? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so, and I don't think
I'm not convinced.
higher than 6th. And if
we're not going to win trophies.
If we're not going to win a trophy,
they made a mistake. I'm saying
it's a bit of a waste. If he's not going to win a trophy and he's not finishing higher than 6th, then what I am suggesting that it's a waste of time.
No, I'm not on the fact it's a waste of time. The problem is that everyone moaned last season, no matter how much we won that cup, everyone moaned we finished 17th. He has to improve the league form. If we finish 6th and get to the knockout stages of the Champions League and he gets a half decent FA Cup run.
All right. Let's ask this.
No one's going to say anything.
I'm also, if he doesn't get top 6, if he doesn't get Europa League for me, I'm going to be very leaning towards Frank out. Because I believe with everyone back healthy.
What's the minimum?
It has to be top 6.
Yes,
top 6 is the minimum.
Yes, top 6. And especially the way the season's gone.
Next season, with everyone coming back, with the signings we make, if Frank doesn't crip walk to that Europa League year, he has to get sacked. I don't care. I don't care about the context. I don't care about the context. Yeah. If this is why I'm so heavy on top 6. I'm not even heavy. You better be moonwalking like Michael Jackson, bro, to that Europa League. He better be, because if we finish in the top 6 and we get Europa League spot with everyone back healthy with 2 windows,
I want more.
All right. In the chat, what is the minimum Frank can get? Are you in agreement with the panel that he must get a top 6 or out?
Can I just add though? Like, I agree, minimum top 6. However, I'm finding it very difficult to see him doing that in any season in terms of going higher. And that's why I made the suggestion, is there any point? I need someone who can get us Champions League football. I need someone that in the next 3 years, Spurs competing. Maybe not winning the league, but we should be aiming, whoever we bring in, there should be a plan that in 3 years, we are going to be involved in a title run. If you can't do that, what the hell are we doing? We are not Brighton. We are not Fulham. We're not any of these teams that are happy just climbing slowly. Rubbish.
Yeah.
We need to be fighting now.
I get the point. What I'm saying is January window is coming up. Yeah. For Frank to get this right and get it over the line, 2 positions.
5.
What are you man saying? What 2 positions does he need to get right?
I need 5.
No. You can only choose 2 positions, bro.
But I don't even need 2.
Okay. What you say then? You give me your answer. What is it?
Just give me £100 million on Semenyo and I'm done. I'm good, because at the end of the day, that's the final piece, because you can clearly see the left side is a clear problem. And we've seen it in every game where our midfielders and want to play it to the left. But Odegaard, up until the last game, for me, hadn't done anything. All right, no matter what Elijah said, I don't think he'd done anything that's constructively in that position. Left back at the moment is only a problem because your doggy's out. And again, go back to what Elijah said. When it comes to that back 4, we have probably one of the best back 4s in the league.
Yeah.
I can live with Vicario. Like, don't get me wrong. I know I slagged him off, but he's not the biggest problem. The biggest issue is at the moment we have Solanke. I'm willing to trust for 6 months if he is allowed.
I'm happy with Saya though.
But Kudus and a left winger, and I think we're fine. We can get to.
I would say I would want a left wing and a number 10.
So you're saying you got an issue with Xavi then? Xavi's not it for you?
You know what? I think Xavi needs to go to fitness first, and he should be.
Pure gym and that.
Bro, not Virgin.
He needs to go Virgin Active, and he needs to be there for 3 months. Just leave him there.
Send him to boot camp, bro.
But Kulu's coming back as well, so this is why I said this is why I want one, because Kulu's coming back. This is why I want
a fullback.
Kulu in the 8 though. Kulu in the 8 could work.
Oh,
Yeah, Dragoshin's coming back. Ben Davis will be there as well as backup.
So if Deji's saying
Kudus
at 8, does that mean we pay a free then? Does that mean we pay a 4-3-3, a flat free?
We can play a 3-man midfield and dominate the midfield. Like I'm telling you, like people underestimate this midfield that we have. Yeah, can dominate teams, bro. Like it doesn't have to dominate the better teams, but like you're telling me, yeah, it couldn't dominate Wolves. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't dominate these. Like it couldn't dominate Monaco. Like not to disrespect these teams, but we're better than these teams, bro. The midfield players we have.
Monaco was the worst performance, like out of all of them.
Yeah, Monaco was so
terrible. Bad because at least with Chelsea, you go, they're slightly better than us.
Yeah.
Monaco are not having the best seasons, and we literally let them. Well,
Minamino missed a hat trick of easy chances.
Yeah.
Bro. It's like it was peak.
What was their formation as well? They played with a back three in it.
They played with a back three. Yeah.
I think it was a
3-4-2-1, like United's formation.
Wolves play with a back three.
Yeah,
for the game as well.
Wolves dominated us, they switched to a back three and they dominated us.
They switched to a back three. Yeah, I thought they switched to a back three. So that might be
with back threes to come out.
We struggle with back threes and we struggle with pressing. Those are the two main options: pressing and then a back.
The Achilles heel.
We just handed everyone the keys.
I agree. I agree with Roberto in the chat, man. I think Xavi is a squad player. I don't know if he could be our leading man. I think Maddison for me. Do you know what? You look at Mbeumo and Cunha and think if we had got Cunha and Mbeumo, would be a different team this season.
What do you think of Cunha's performance against us?
I mean, he was dusty against us. Let's not lie. But generally speaking, this season Cunha's been good.
He's been okay. He's not been like. He's been injured as well. I like him, but I don't think he's been.
I don't think he's been that great.
I don't think he's been that great for Man United. I think they've had better performances elsewhere. And Wemmer's been up and down because he's settling. Yeah. But I think for them, Bruno Fernandes is stepped up, and that's the reason why, because he's got more freedom. That's the reason why they've started doing well.
You're right. He's more of a risk taker in that midfield. I think Mbeumo is a bigger goal threat at the moment than Kudus. I'll be real.
He is. Yeah. That's not even the thing
that's hindering us at the moment. Even though everything's going down our right, I think as a goal threat, I think that's what Kudus needs now to go up to.
That's why I say a striker. We need a striker.
Yeah, but he needs a Fernandes, doesn't he? He needs a risk taker to help him out a little bit.
You're saying for you then, it's a 10 really, a winger and a 10.
Yeah, but I'm
winger and a 10. You're saying two positions.
But Kulu will take those risks.
Passer like that is he the guy?
Nah, it's not really.
He's not. But like, let's be honest, bro.
We need Lamella.
It has to be a striker, bro. Richarlison and Tel.
Would you take Paqueta in the 10? Should we have taken Paqueta?
I'll offer him Basuma and 12 mil, and we'll get Paqueta.
But Paqueta's one of them. I've always found Paqueta to be better in the 8.
Yeah, I feel like he's more of an 8 than a playmaker. Like a man that can pass.
He to be fair, Paqueta will be perfect for Frank.
Yeah,
like
because the way he plays because he'll play those passes and he'll play over the top.
Sure. I do like him. I do like Paqueta.
But we ain't getting another West Ham player for a while.
That's what I'm saying. West Ham player, 100%.
But yeah, top 6 or bust, man.
But all right. So you guys, striker, left wing. Are you agreement, Deji? Striker, left wing.
I want a left back and a striker, but same.
What do you think? All right, but real question: do you think? I used to left back. Sorry. Do you think the club are going to back it? Do you think this new regime are going to go all out? Because I did read somewhere, and I'd obviously the source is a bit iggy, so don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't take this for verbatim, but like apparently there's been some sponsorship going on, 500 mil or something like that. I don't know if you saw that. 500 mil.
I mean, people will say it always feels like this every season, but I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I think this January is a pivotal kind of all or nothing crossover moment. Levy's gone. This is an opportunity for Enoch to say, you know what, it was all Levy's fault. That plonker was the one holding us back. So therefore, we are, letting out the purse strings. We're digging deep in our pocket, and we're gonna spend like mad. If Tottenham come up with some dusty transfer window where we've only spent 50, 60 mil, suck them, bun them as a club, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? What's all the point talking about this club, spending time every week, wishing, hoping that we can be, one day back at the top where we belong? It'll be we're just wasting time. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to see Enoch pull their finger at their ass and say, you know what? Let us now be the legends that we're supposed to be. It's our time to dominate, our time to shine. So I'm expecting Spurs to be spending 150, 200 million Jan. And if they don't do it, then our club is not a serious club.
What? And obviously, you've mentioned Marlon. You want to see Semenyo or nothing, yeah. But you guys, for you, you've all mentioned strikers, not Marlon. What is an acceptable striker for you guys in this January window? Realistically, though.
I don't know. That's the thing. I
Right.
don't know.
I'll give you a list of strikers. That at the moment we've been linked with a guy called Samu, yeah, Iridian, Akawada. I can't remember his name, but yeah, I'm going to call him Iridian. Yeah, he plays for Porto, young striker.
I was going to say, I think he plays for Porto. I think
that guy. Yeah. Then Jonathan David, he's gone to Juventus. Yeah. So he's not hit the ground running. He used to play for, was it not Leo? Yeah, Leo. For 3 seasons consistently, he was hitting like 20 plus, whatever. But he's gone to Juventus, is thinking now apparently he's up for grabs. Vlahovic, another player. Up and down season before last. Do you know what I mean? But then on the market, then you've got players like Tony. Tony's been linked. I don't know if you lot have heard the rumor.
Is it because he's looking to go to the World Cup?
Yeah,
right?
he's to go to the World Cup. Apparently, him and Frank have been talking on the phone. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying the rumors.
I don't know, but you know what it is, actually. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. The problem with Tottenham is, for me, like the biggest issue, because there's so many issues at Spurs, but the biggest issue for me has always been scouting. And it's annoying that teams like Bournemouth and Brighton can sell their best players and then do proper scouting and find players who can turn into the new best players to sell. It's annoying to me because if we had if we had like even as good of a scouting network as some of these teams, we'll beat them out for these players because we're top.
Yeah, but we do. Yeah. But we do. The problem that we've always got, and I've always tell people this, we do have a good scouting network. The problem is that we never have the scouting network that fits the manager. And what ends up happening is you will end up bringing a player to like when Ange came in, everyone was saying we had a squad for Conte. Ange is here now, and then it's taken us 2 years, and we probably now got.
So that means we don't have the scout. We don't have.
No, we do.
But we don't.
But it's our. But no. But this comes down to leaving the way the board and everyone wants to run the club. We do things on a slow scout. Because I can tell you now, we will take clubs to that board, and they'll be like.
But if we have have the ability to identify talent, but the scouts are identifying talents for the wrong manager. Whereas other teams...
No. They're identifying it. What ends up happening is, by the time they bring them in, we sack the manager. Because us fans don't have patience. So we all saying, like, Areola, he's now in at Bournemouth, but they're buying players now for their manager. Because they keep it at a consistent pace. Where Brighton's completely different model, because Brighton keep the same manager, and they scout the same players. So they say all rotates, it's all in the same thing. But we've gone from defensive, attacking. That, and it's only 2 years. It don't work like that. It's never going to work like that. We either need to stay defensive or we need to stay attacking. We need to find our lane and stick to it and not stop going from one direction to the other. Because Drakasheen's a good player, but we brought him for an attacking manager.
Okay, so let me ask you this one. So when it comes to how we used the striker last season under Ange Postecoglou,
remember Ange didn't want Solanke from them. If the rumors are true,
I'm not saying he wanted it. I'm just going to talk about how he was used and how he played in that system. Solanke dropped.
If he didn't want Solanke, who did he want?
Who did he want? I can't remember the name he wanted, but it wasn't Solanke. Solanke wasn't, because he wasn't going to play.
Was it my man? That Mexican brother?
Was it him? There was someone else. I remember someone else.
Yeah, was it him? Was it Jimenez?
It might have been Jimenez. Yeah, it was someone else. He didn't want Solanke. Was just
okay. So like
the one he ended up with.
So let's look at Solanke though. Like what Solanke did, a lot of hold up the ball, a lot of dropping in deep to collect the ball, keep the play moving.
Bournemouth though, Bournemouth he weren't doing no hold up. Bournemouth, he was doing the back posting, what Brennan was doing.
Yeah, but what Solanke was doing at Spurs, innit? Is what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But and then saying, like the manager's giving him different instructions.
Yeah, which is fine, but like the point I'm trying to make is that the striker this season is still doing those same things. The only difference is that it's Richarlison who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But when we play those direct passes, when Vicario sends the ball long into the striker, what's he supposed to do? He's supposed to hold the ball up, bring people into play, and then make the run into the box. That's basically, but I'm not saying it's the exact same, but it's similar in terms of profile as to what was happening under Ange. The only problem is the only difference is that Ange didn't want Vicario to play the ball long. He wanted short passes, so he wanted to pass through teams and then get the ball to Solanke, who can then hold up the ball, take a centre back out of the game, and then send someone else running, or give the ball to Kulu, who can send it running.
Yeah.
The only difference is the way we're getting the ball to the striker.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in terms of similarities, in terms of what we want the striker to do, it's not that it's so much different. We're not looking for a Haaland who's a fox in the box kind of person. It's not like turning a false nine like a Firmino into a Haaland. It's not anything like that. So what I say is that the profile of like the striker, for example, going into this, which is why I want a striker, is not necessarily that different. It's just the quality of the player that we're scouting is the problem. When you look at Solanke had one good season and then we signed him for 60 mil. I think that's poor scouting, in my opinion, because there's plenty of strikers who are worth a lot less who could do exactly what Solanke's doing, if not better. I think it's just.
But if you take that to Daniel Levy's going, oh, he scored this many goals last year. You go for a cheap striker, but does he fit? You know, he won't go on fit in the system. But he only scored like 13, 14 goals. They like. There's a lot of players that get taken to this board and they literally don't pay the cash. And that's why we always said you've got to pay the money, and they don't back the manager.
But this is why I say, like, our best signings though have not been the biggest signings in terms of price value. Not all the time. If you look at maybe a Maddison for like 40 mil, maybe, but the biggest hitters we've ever signed have not panned out for us. It's kind of been that mid kind of tier because, like, for example, Maddison was obviously on a relegation team, so he cost less. If Leicester had stayed up, he probably cost more. But the thing is like. And this is, again, to be fair, you're saying it's on the ball, which is fine. I don't disagree entirely with that. But this is why, like, the scouting has been annoying for me. Like, just that whole process, whether you want to say it's the scouts themselves or the board, the whole process is annoying. Because, for example, the Kudus situation, he was first being valued at like 70 mil by David Sullivan and them. And Kudus at 70 million, he's a cold player, but he's not 70 million cold. He isn't. The thing is that it's West Ham, which is rivals of Tottenham, plus it's David Sullivan, who wants to basically get as much money out of us as possible.
Yeah, but this is why it's going to be interesting now to see, and this is where I will agree with you later, is now that Levy has gone, because I've always said he always signed players that were opportunities. He'll never go into a club. Like, you know how Bayern Munich came in and said £100 million negotiate for the best player. Levy never done that. He went to West Ham because they were cash strapped.
Yeah.
Solanke was probably the last player that we signed.
All right, for you, Marlon,
wasn't cash strapped.
If he goes for a player, for example, like a Semenyo, would you be like, this is a change? Because obviously Bournemouth, they're not a struggling team, are they? Do you know what I mean? They have to sell Semenyo either. So for you, that would be a push in the right direction.
That's where
would you say Semenyo is a purple patch player? Because at the moment,
he is.
He's not being at the moment.
No, of course he's a purple patch player, but so was Solanke. We signed him. So
I'm more willing to take risks, mainly because of Marlon. Because one thing, Marlon
you're willing to take risks here.
It is because last season Marlon and I, it was off camera as well. That's how you know it was a real thing.
Yeah, go on.
And Marlon's gonna laugh when I say this. Marcus Rashford. Remember that back and forth we had about Rashford?
Yeah.
Rashford, yeah?
Yeah, like I didn't want anything to do with Rashford.
He didn't want anything to do with Rashford.
I didn't want anything to do with Rashford.
Would you take Rashford now? Would you take him now?
He's looking good.
We'd have no choice. That's the thing. We'd have no choice. Like that's like.
But I would have taken him in January.
And Marlon would have taken him.
I was willing to take
Marlon
him.
proved that, found out to be 200% right on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things that, like, purple patch players, as of right now, like, our attack is so bad to where, like, people are willing to take anyone who's just an upgrade, which is fair enough. And
because you speaking about that, because I've been hearing a lot of Spurs channels talk about Lookman. And and Ash is one to take Lookman, and I won't take him. And everyone's going, but his last 3 seasons at Atalanta have been
pretty good,
brilliant. I have. But for me, I'm looking at his form when he was in the Premier League with Everton, Fulham, and Leicester, and I'm looking at going, is he one of those English players that do better abroad than he does at home?
Which is could be, to be fair.
But at the present moment, I'm not going to say no to him because that left side
But that's
completely
better than
non-existent.
anything we got on the left for sure.
But yeah, but that was my
Exactly.
thing.
But-
My thing against Rashford last year was because he's better than what we have doesn't mean that he's what we need. And like, let's say Odebear's a 3 out of 10, right? Just as an example. If we then sign a 5 out of 10 winger, he's better than Odebear. He starts on the left wing, but he's still a 5. He's still mid. He's still a 5 out of 10, and that's why like the scouting is like really annoying to me because we can sign better wingers than what we have available for less money because they're abroad. And we can sign a 7 out of 10 winger. There's no reason why we can't. We're Tottenham. We can do it. I know people love to banter us and all that stuff, how we don't have this and we don't have that. We're Tottenham. We can sign 7 out of 10 wingers. We can. We can sign 8 out of 10 wingers.
But we're gonna have to sign more homegrown players. Though. That's the only problem.
But I think the key thing that you're saying, Elijah, which is what I was thinking the other day, is that like 7 out of 10 in this team is the difference between us being where we are and us being second in the table. I looked at Garnacho the other day and I thought I'd take him. I don't think Garnacho's very good, but I just want someone who's going to take the ball, run down the line and whip the ball in. Do you know what I mean? Like something that basic. And what we've lacked in our kind of wing plays, that kind of basic play. But Ndiaye, that option here, he would be an excellent sign. And I was at the Spurs home game last season when we won 4-0, and I was like, who is that, brother? Yeah, Ndiaye would be the best left back if we left winger. If we brought him in Jan, that would be smart business for Spurs.
Because that's an actual 7, 8 out of 10 player right there, fam. You know, and we can sign him. So it's like, I know obviously it'll cost a little bit extra because of the Prem tax and he's English and all that. But that was the thing when we were getting linked with some of these players. And I'm like, bro, we can go to La Liga or go to Bundesliga, whichever foreign league that you rate. We can go there and with proper scouting, and to be fair to your point, on a board that actually gives an F. We can go to these leagues and pay a fraction of the price. Like look at Cherki and Reinders; they cost the same as some of these other players, bro. They cost what, like 70 million euros combined, 70 to 80, something like. Semenyo wants to leave Bournemouth cold, but all these players, bro,
in January.
Yeah, that's making. We can make a move.
And he counts as homegrown, doesn't he?
Yeah. But as I was saying, like Semenyo, obviously everyone here would want Semenyo, but it's just like Cherki and Reinders are 2 players that cost like 70, 80 million euros combined.
I think Cherki's always going to be the one that every Premier League club goes, why the fuck didn't we take the risk?
Because he's crazy. Him and Reinders together, like they're very good, isn't it? And it's just obviously you're not going to always find that level of bargain, but if you sign I think a 50 million euro player quality wise in other leagues is the same as like a 60, 70 million pound player in the Premier League. I think it's like
Tonali at Newcastle.
Yeah, it's like
he's such a massive impact for them, and we will turn our nose up because I think a lot of us saw him play when he played against us against AC Milan. We're like, really? But actually, in that midfield with Gomes and
Bruno's another one. This player came from Lyon, bro. Like, how many people were really like jumping at the idea of getting Bruno in their team? Bro, and now he's killing that.
It stung us.
That's what it is.
Stung us, bro.
I'm saying like that's what it is, man. Like some of these players overseas, I know it's the whole Prem proven and all. I think Prem proven is one of the most overrated sayings I've heard.
I was gonna say, like, what do you think of Alex Scott? Because everyone's talking about this Alex Scott kid. Do you not rate him?
He's a good player.
He's calm, isn't it?
Would you take him like in the window January, like Syrah? Because is he not like a similar player to like to what we've got at the moment in our midfield in terms of youth and the rest of it?
Yeah, we're lacking on so many players that at some point.
I would like I said before. I don't know. I just don't think. I know you guys have said a flat midfield 3. It's quite solid, but I actually don't think. I think it feels disjointed for me. Like I look at Brighton's midfield 3. I think I would prefer that. I would love a believer and that you think better. And yeah, that would.
Brighton's got a better midfield than us.
I think so. Marlon?
Right, name the midfield again for Brighton.
I think they've got that Jorginho guy.
Yeah, Rota. Yeah.
And they've got Belabor. Yeah, and I can't remember. Is it O'Reilly? Did they have O'Reilly? Or?
Yeah, they got O'Reilly.
O'Reilly is there. Yeah. I do
Right,
like
like
Belabor.
Belabor is probably the best one. Like
Yeah,
out
I
of
do like
if you combine the Tottenham and Brighton's midfield, I think Belabor's probably the
Would you take him?
best one.
You take him, Belabor?
Yeah, of course.
I not for well not if we've got Paulinho, because I know Believer's better, like good on the ball and better on the ball, but you gotta make that decision.
You know, I can't lie, Pelin. Man, I think we start Pelin too much, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think we start.
He needs to be dropped.
I think
yes.
I think he's stiff, man.
Bro, Pelin can't. Part of the reason why we're so bad at playing out of presses is because of Pelin. And people don't realize it because Pelin plays every game. Basically.
So I think I said this to Ash a couple of weeks ago, and I said the reason why Bentancur and Paulinho kind of work. Bentancur works in the first half, but in those last 30-40 minutes of the game, in the second half, well, the second half when the game starts to tire out, that's when Paulinho comes into his own.
There's the midfield of Brighton, by the way.
I like Rotten.
Gruder, and they've got the other brother, Ayari.
Where does Rotter play? Is he in 8?
He's playing as a striker, but you can play in the 10.
Yeah, but you got to remember they got Matoma and Minter as well, and that for them helps them out. Well, you've only got Kudus.
And
Matoma's not even having the best season.
Yeah, it's true. Him and Mente. Apparently Liverpool are looking at Mente as well, from what I read. But
I heard Mente would come to Spurs.
Is that what you heard? Yeah,
that's off the grapevine. Yeah, of his friend.
He's very one-footed.
That he would come Spurs. Yeah,
he's another very one-footed player. He's a good player though. Minter's good. But that's what I'm saying. Is like Pellegrini, and the things people won't realize because like even I started to forget us playing through a press because I hadn't seen it in like damn near 10 games in a row. But like having Bentancur in that 6 is like because before Basuma did his stupidness and basically exiled himself from the team. I wanted Pellegrini and Basuma to play together, but I wanted Bentancur and Sarr to be like the second option as a duo because Pellegrini is just not good on the ball. Like he's a simple guy. He can pass it he can get the ball from A to B, but Pellegrini just limits us so much. And I think people have forgotten the Bournemouth game because they were just focusing and hounding Pellegrini in that midfield, and he couldn't do anything about it. If you guys remember that game, Pellegrini started off as a central centre back, and they were hounding him. So Bentancur went there, and they still hounded Pellegrini, and it's like we couldn't get the ball out. As soon as Pellegrini come off, we're starting to have a strong foot on the game in terms of at least keeping the ball. I'm sorry, like Pellegrini and Bentancur, they're a good duo for when we're getting dominated and the other team has it. Like, for example, that Everton second half. Remember, we're just sitting back and we're just letting them have the ball and we're just seeing the game out. They're great for that. But if the onus is on us to start building up, I don't want to see Pellegrini in the team personally. I'd rather see
by the way. That's the side that played Bournemouth that we lost. So you got Brennan on the left, Richarlison up top. Ew. And you got Sarr, Pellegrini, and Bentancur. With Romero and Van der Ven behind them. And to the left, Porro on the right. But at home,
it was terrible.
Never worked. And I don't think we should ever look at that again.
It was it was very, very bad.
I agree with Marlon. I think the biggest problem is that front line. And there's no real like people were saying Sarr was a 10, Sarr's a 10, Sarr's a 10. I'm like, I don't think so.
Sarr's not a 10. He was just initiating the press very well.
Square peg round holes.
Yeah.
Sarr just initiates the press well. He's not a 10. No, that's all it is. Like even if we have Sarr and Xavi in the same midfield, I'd want to see Sarr initiate the press. And I'd want to see Xavi hang back a bit. If you're gonna do that, you know, so if you're gonna play Pellegrini, Sarr, and Xavi, I'd rather Sarr initiate the press with the front line and have Xavi hang back a little bit. Because that's really where like Sarr was actually doing well in this like pseudo 10 role. Is just initiating the press, but he wasn't really getting on the ball and doing much with it. He's always been a finisher. He's never created anything in his life.
Yeah, facts, man. But bro, you got anything else to say, Marlon, before we wrap up? Any final thoughts, man?
No, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up. Wrap up.
Yeah, man. Any final thoughts, guys, before we leave? Anything
I think with the way that the season's going, you know, why stop at top 6?
Oh my god.
That's what I'm
Deji's
saying.
outrageous, man.
I need. For me, I
He's
need.
not alone though.
You know,
Lots of fans are like this. They want a lot of fans want Champions League, you know, this season.
Yeah, bro. You know what?
And the club as well. The club came out and they said they want Champions League.
I suffered a lot of PTSD from last season. I actually don't mind the stinky football provided we win. And if somehow he can find a system that works, or at least a starting 11 that stinks out the place and can win 1-0, I am cool with that this season. That's it. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, cool, man. You can find Deji. Where can we find you again? Obviously, for those that don't know, first time watching.
Here and they're just Spurs, but you know, I need my club to be top 4.
Simple as that. You heard it here first, but last mistake. He says it all the time. Elijah,
Yo.
you say, man. Where can the man them find you? Where can the people catch you?
Well, I mean, you'll see me back here in maybe about 6 months or so, but you can find me at Too Much of You. You know what I'm saying? We just be vibing, we be chilling.
Yeah,
that's all I can say, man. We should be chilling, man. Frank's been on forward watch for I think 84 days now. I think this is day 84. So we're gonna keep that going until he proves me otherwise. But yeah, we just vibing, we just chilling over here, man.
he's definitely on forward watch though.
Oh, he's been on forward watch. Day 84, did you? Day 84, man.
Legit.
Marlon, you got anything?
Man, I got nothing planned, bro. I'm just on holiday, as they say, from streaming. So I'll be back next week Tuesday.
Right, this week Tuesday. One quick announcement for myself. It's my birthday today.
Oh, happy
Jeez,
birthday.
happy birthday, man.
Yeah. I've gone to the fourth chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But,
Congrats. You're almost double my age now.
I don't know.
Double your age, you know.
Listen,
You're rude.
I'm a ringer, really. I'm a ringer, really. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm a blink and I'm a be 40, bro. So I'm.
I used it to get into the clubs when I was younger, innit? And I'd say ever since then I've stuck with it. See it.
Now they're like, you still come here?
Happy birthday, bro.
Big up. Yeah, man. Big up to the chat as always. But guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. It's a mad one. I'm not gonna lie. Someone might surprise me. I don't know. So I might be out, but I might be in. So we'll see.
In what?
What? So we'll see what I go for tomorrow, innit? For the show.
Birthday celebrations.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a stream. Yeah, I'm saying. Big up to what's his name? Saying I look like 60, yeah. Is that your picture, bro? You don't look your age. I don't know how old you look, bro. You look kind of old yourself, bro. Big up, though. It's all banter. It's all love. Big up.
But on that note, love to people, love to everyone in the chat. Thanks as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. As Ash said, we'll be back. Ash not sure if he's gonna be back for the rivals today, but you never know. Might celebrate his 40th.
I probably will be, man.
Celebrating. But yeah, where's FaZe these days, man?
I don't know, man. He said he's about. He said, "Oh, but I fell asleep. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, next week." But he fell asleep again, so I don't know. Innit?
Yeah, you don't want none of that smoke from Deji. Yeah.
Arsenal Slayer.
Chop him up, you know what I mean? Nah, just kidding.
So clip it.
On that note, but big up to everyone. Elijah and Deji's links will be in the chat as from tomorrow. So people watching this back will be able to subscribe to them as well. But as always, come on.